Let's go.
Hello, everyone, and we're doing a video or stream.
Are we? You
Yeah,
sure about that?
are you sure about? Well, today we're going to be talking about and discussing, dissecting a debate that happened the other day between one of our friends, Zeno, Professor Zeno, and some guy named like Wallflower or something. I don't fucking remember. Now, before this goes in any further, let it be noted that we aren't gonna be biased towards Zeno. If he did something fucking stupid in this, we're gonna call him out on being fucking stupid.
Yeah, we're also going to be reacting to scales and like videos on TikTok and giving our opinions and breakdowns and thoughts. So
Yeah.
be pretty based.
Based on what? And we also are not alone with just me and Grim here. We also have with us Shadow Atoyes,
Was goody.
Zeno himself, Professor Zeno,
Yeah.
and of course Kosu.
The legend.
God King Kosu.
And I'm pretty sure we also have Lucid here, but I don't know if Lucid.
Yes,
Okay.
I confirmed I'm here.
All right. So let's just get into this and start listening to this fucking debate.
All right.
Agreed.
All right.
You guys are gonna hate yourselves after this.
All right. I'm gonna hit play. So make sure you guys be quiet. If you have something that you want to add, just say that you want to say something and then pause it. All right.
The way
I want to
you
debate
are
the
a
racist.
What was
Yeah,
your
this kid's a
motivation?
racist, bro.
Be quiet, dear God.
Let me stop trolling. Alright, you can start off with your scaling, I guess.
Okay.
Let me get this.
So, I scale Sailor Moon to a measurable speed in Uni Plus. Do you have any contentions with that?
Immeasurable speed and uni
Okay,
plus.
well, first. What's your premise?
My premise? What's
Mhm.
that?
Okay, what premise? Like, it's pretty simple.
No, yeah, what's a premise?
Okay, do you want me to give you, like, the YouTube definition? I mean, not YouTube, Google definition? Like,
I want you to
Merriam-Webster?
explain it. I want you to explain it to me in words that a monkey would understand.
Oh boy, well, monkeys don't understand words, so that's already, like...
I'm black, and are you calling? That's not funny.
Mm-hmm.
I don't appreciate being stereotyped like that.
I don't
You find this funny?
I don't appreciate you being a retard, but, you know.
Why are you calling me a retard?
Because you're...
I thought.
Yeah. That's the no-no. Yeah.
Yeah, I called him out on it and later.
Look, anybody okay, first of all, I can say that to me this guy sounds like he's just being like a troll in a rap at the beginning, asking you to define premise and stuff, but at the same time, I don't think calling him names, again, I am of the opinion that adds nothing to a debate, and there's literally 0 point in doing it, to be honest, but
I'm sorry.
especially from the jump.
I will also say in defense of Zeno in regards to what he was trying to claim. Zeno never once stereotyped him. He literally asked to explain it in a way that a monkey would understand, just in case anybody would
Well, yeah,
wanting
obviously.
yeah, just in case anybody didn't have a brain and wanted to try and understand that.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
as
you
judge,
try to
I called him.
prove
I called him
like
out like, hey, we can't be name calling and shit.
We'll see.
Ready to continue?
Yep.
Oh, fuck.
Hey, Judge, wasn't there supposed to be no name calling?
Yeah, but you've already sort
Yeah.
of broken that
I
nonsense with
yeah,
your
that
trolling.
there is not supposed to be name calling, so I'm gonna ask you not to.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
Zeno.
I'm gonna ask him not to troll when I'm trying to
No,
have a
I'm
conversation,
asking
breaking the
you
dialectic.
what's a premise?
I'm gonna pause this real quick. I don't have anything to add to this, but can somebody Grim or Zeno go onto my channel and get the stream because it's not pushing out for some reason.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right.
What's your stream?
Yeah,
What's your
my stream starts to automatically ping in Discord, but it's not doing that. So
Oh, I found
Yeah, I
it.
was waiting for that to happen, but like it just hasn't. So
Okay,
I was
I've got
like,
the
well,
stream link.
I don't even see the stream on your channel.
Yeah, I found it.
just put it in announcements or whatever.
Yeah, I know it's up because I can see like Akuma typing in the channel thing, and I have it pulled up on my phone.
I didn't even see the stream on your YouTube channel.
It's not on
Bro, is-
YouTube.
Oh, where is it?
No, it is on YouTube. It's on Delinquent Lucy.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's on my Delinquent Lucy account.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay, so you want me to just like add everyone?
Yeah, just add everyone about it.
Yeah.
it's not on your Delinquent Thunder account. Oh, you need to change that then.
No, I'm gonna use that one for something, but I don't know what yet.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm probably just gonna start like doing scaling content on that. But fuck it, right now I'm doing this on this, so
I'll probably do that stuff on my GrimTheFangKing channel, but like I'll start using it for streaming
Who
and stuff.
pinged me?
Like
Who
or
dare
scaling.
ping me?
Pingathin. Anyway.
Alright.
Oh, the freaking the thumbnail.
Akuma said raise the volume, stream gay. Of course.
Yeah, the audio volume on the video is a little low.
Well, I mean, this.
Well, yeah, we already.
we
did
already
one over
established that. I literally
Yeah.
can't raise it any higher.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's nasty.
We went over the audio arc.
So
Audio.
And then Grim needs to post the video in Adola.
I'm working on it. Just continue the video, I'll post it.
alright.
Yeah, and then you just claim.
How-
that I
how
was-
is asking
no,
you
no,
to-
no, no. You just said I want you to explain it to me like I'm a monkey, and I said that's stupid, and then you claimed that I was racist.
No, cause you called me and then you called me a retard.
Okay, what's your point? I only said that after you claimed I was racist. So technically, you did.
No,
the
I
insult
said you
first.
were
did-
stereotyping me because you made monkey noises at me and I'm black.
What's your point?
So I'm
You
justified.
said, no, you said explain it to you how I would explain it to a monkey. That's how I would explain it to a
Okay,
monkey.
so I'm as a judge, I'm going to intervene here. This is going nowhere. We're not even on the debate yet.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
For context, in this context, a premise is your argument, is what you're trying to argue in this case. Will that suffice, Wallflower?
Yeah, thank you, bro. See, that's all you had to say, bro. You didn't even
All
have to
right,
be.
now that
rude.
we know what a
I'm gonna
premise
pause
is,
it
we
real
know
quick.
Okay.
So, for clarification, I did not have a lot of time to really think about what a premise was and define it properly. I that was not the best I could have defined a premise as. And Thunder clarified this after when I was telling about it, that a premise would be a better description would be a premise is what your argument is, what the basis of your argument, sort of that realm. So I just wanted to clarify that, you know. Anyways, yeah, let's continue. I'm gonna unpause it now.
Can you repeat your premise?
Okay, my premise is that Sailor Moon beats Gojo. Pretty simple.
All right. And now Wallflower, what is your premise?
My premise is that I think Gojo wins.
So your
Wins against
premise
Sailor
is
Moon?
wait, is your premise that Gojo wins, or your premise is that you think Gojo wins?
Oh, probably that Gojo wins.
Yes or no? Is your premise that Gojo wins?
I just said it.
Well, I want you to put it in very concrete language so you can't rat. Do you,
Gojo wins.
against Sailor Moon, correct?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay,
So I'm just gonna repeat both your premises just to make sure we got the premises out of the way, so there's no arguing later on. The premise for Zeno is that Sailor Moon beats Gojo, and the premise.
Hold on,
for
can I
Wallflower
pause
is
this
that
for a
Gojo
second?
beats Sailor
Yep.
Moon. Am I?
I'm gonna say next person who joins the staff EC, I'm gonna fucking mute them.
Well,
I don't
that I
want
mean, I
No,
didn't.
they were already muted.
Yeah, they were already muted. It's fine. I really like.
It's just the Discord sound. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I didn't.
I'm
I mean,
gonna
I
unpause
look,
it.
and also the Discord sound did not pick up when on my end. 'Cause
Yeah, it's fine.
it doesn't
Okay.
matter.
Got it. Okay, I'm going to unpause it again.
Okay.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Let's begin the debate. Zeno, since you did, I'm gonna give Wallflower the first go around. So Wallflower, you may start off our debate.
Oh yeah. we got-
Actually, I'd like for him to go first because, like, in case, like, yeah.
You want to
All right,
remain on
then.
the defensive? Again,
No,
that's
in
not-
case you
no,
call me a retard again.
All
Well,
right.
I can
I
call you
mean,
a
you're not gonna
retard
be
either
talking
way.
during this. When
Hey, you're not a judge. Can you
Lucid
shut up?
is-
I am a judge.
I brought in
Oh,
two
you
judges,
are?
just like you
When
brought
I
Me
in
and
agree
two
to
Lucid are
that.
the judges. Me and Lucid are the judges.
You are?
I
Yeah.
mean, do you
Hi.
want me to decide on one judge? You only get one judge at that point. Are you cool with that?
Yeah, cause like
Okay.
if you look at my first message, I said judge, not judges.
Okay. Well,
thought you
since
only
Shadow,
had one.
since Shadow has been like judging this entire time, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, sure. I'm fine with him being like the sole
And
judge.
who is the judge for your side? Is it Project?
I think
No,
you
I'm just
said
fine
he's
with
the sole
you.
judge.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
So then, since Wallflower has decided to give the reins to Xeno, Xeno, you may.
I'm gonna
start
pause this real quick.
Sure. So
First of all,
All right. What's up?
Shadow, I gotta call you out on this.
All right. What do you call me out on?
Mainly because we also did this whenever me and you judged before. It is a terrible idea to have two judges.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
Especially if you said, hey, like, what judge do you want for your side? Like, then at that point you have two judges that would presumably, like, based upon that criteria, be biased, and therefore, like, there's really no point having judges.
Well, the thing.
saying like, oh, well, you get a judge for your side. This guy gets a judge for his side.
Yeah.
There's never going to be a synergy there because,
Yeah.
like, when people are picking their own judges, they're obviously going to go pick their friends. In which case, you're going to end up with like a debate where it's like inconclusive. Like neither side wins because the judges are just going to disagree. So typically in a debate, you can do like I do and debate with no judges typically, or you can, if you're going to debate with judges, it needs to be like 1 or 3. Like it needs to be an odd number so you don't end up with like, obviously you can debate with more if you want. Not sure why you ever would go above 3, but unless you're leaving it up for like an audience or something. But like
Originally, how I thought it was gonna go, it was gonna be me, Lucids, and one other person. But since they were like, no, let's not have Lucids, I was like, okay, so who was your judge that you were gonna pick? And they're like, no, just have you as a soldier. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, well, you would never ask them, like, if they say no to the other judge, the third judge, you would never say yes to the 2 judges. Like, you just wouldn't, like, judge, because, like, then the results are most likely going to be inconclusive. Like, you don't want there to be, like, a tie situation.
Right.
Like, in this kind of situation, so, you know.
Got it. See, good constructive criticism. I'm learning here. Thank you both. I appreciate the constructive criticism.
I have snake aids. Anyway.
Of course you do.
That's all I need.
Wait, you said you had snake eggs?
I have snake aids. Anyway, let's move on.
Oh, okay.
Snades for short.
I scale Sailor Moon to uni and immeasurable speed. Do you have any contentions with that?
Okay, what's your justification for that?
Justification for what? Which one? Immeasurable or uni? Which one do you want me to do first? Which one do you want me to do first?
Probably immeasurable. What's immeasurable?
Immeasurable speed is being able to move at a speed unbound by linear time.
So, like, explain that in monkey terms.
Oh my god.
I want to pause it real quick. He said he does that a lot. Explain it in monkey.
Yeah, he brings up monkeys a lot.
So I'm just clarifying for the viewers and
I
for.
don't really see an issue with what he's doing. Like, I mean, while I do think he's doing it in a ratty manner, because I think he probably is aware of these things and it's just like being facetious. At the same time, I think when you're agreeing to engage in this dialectic with somebody, like you are aware of the fact that they can ask you to explain everything, and you should be prepared to do so, and you shouldn't really have trouble with it either. Like,
okay, so like
when it comes to
a slight spoiler, he actually does like end up showing that he knows what the terms mean.
Okay, I mean, that's fine, but, you know, you should still be prepared. Like, you should still, like, I would never engage with somebody who acted that way to begin with, but, like, since you chose to, you accept the responsibility for it, and you should be prepared to, at any time, like, break down, like, how tiering works, like...
Okay, to be fair, I didn't think he would ask me to use, like, to, like, define immeasurable since he was using it in the chat just, like, 20 minutes later, so I thought he'd know what the word meant, but...
Well, if he had used it already, then he should have just brought that up.
Well, I thought he would have just like said something about it not being relevant to the conversation.
Well, I mean,
Because
like it's
he does something like that later too. He like uses trans duality. I ask him what it is, and then he's like, "Oh no, I don't know."
Stop. Spoilers.
well,
Oh, yes.
that is if we even make it that far in this video. But like, I will say that he like, if he does say that it's not relevant, I would say that it is very relevant because it shows that it demonstrates that he knows what the meaning is, and there's no reason to define a word or phrase that he knows the meaning to. Unless
I wouldn't even put it that way. I would just say that it's relevant because if he demonstrates knowledge, then that means he's being disingenuous when he claims no knowledge. In which case, that means that, like to the judges or to the audience or whatever the case is, showing that your opponent's being disgenuine, presents a reasonable doubt as to whether or not they are being honest about other claims within the debate. So it is relevant to the dialectic.
I will keep that in mind in the future.
Yeah,
as will I, as a judge in the future.
And the other point too is that like and Grim's right with the phrasing. I fucking did not phrase that correctly, because like obviously you still like if you know what the definition of a word is, you can still ask somebody to define it in their terms, like so that you can be on equal footing on realizing like if there's any differences between your definitions, right? Because that does happen on occasion where you actually genuinely have a different interpretation of a word and a meaning of a word.
I think Kosu is going to say something about it too.
No, yeah, I was just gonna say because words in general are just relative, right? Like we all interpret certain things a bit differently, so we can't just like presume another person's like knowledge on something in a debate. Especially like I don't see a problem with him asking you to like tell him your understanding of a word or a phrase.
Precisely.
So
yep, I agree.
He words it weird for sure. I will agree on that. But like it is just.
I was a little peeved. He kept bringing up monkeys. That's about it.
Oh yeah, that's fine. But yeah, I just don't think that's a bad thing. Like you could ask people to define what they mean.
No, I absolutely agree too, because that will give you. That's also a good way to kind of test somebody on their knowledge of something. For example, like. If you ask, like, because if somebody's presenting you a scale that sounds ridiculous to you, like, let's say one of the TikTok spurgs comes into the server and is like, yeah, Goku's boundless or whatever, right? I generally don't engage with them, right? But if I end up in a situation where I'm engaging with them, I always just ask them to define boundless and explain why it is boundless and stuff like that. Because like I already know, like my presumption at that point is that they don't know what they're talking about, and it's not going to hold up if we were to get into a further dialectic about it. So by me asking them to demonstrate their knowledge, like I have some idea as to whether or not they like are going to be able to back up for their claims. So like it's also a valid strategy when debating somebody, honestly.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right. Well,
so we continue in the video.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so immeasurable speed is being able to move at a speed to where linear time, which means time that goes forward and back, does not affect you. So you are not bound by it. You are not hindered by it. Do I need to place like more synonyms in?
Oh, so like if I'm in space, like I have immeasurable speed because I'm not on Earth time.
No, there's still time.
Oh, so like, what if like some kid is in Africa and then I'm in like New York and like, cause like there's like different time zones. What would that mean?
You would still be bound by linear time.
Oh, so like give an instance where like immeasurable speed is like dictated.
Okay, so are you familiar with character stats and profiles?
No.
Okay, so character stats and profiles is a website that is like essentially documents the tiering system for speed and like attack power. Are you fine with using that site for definitions, like in regards to scaling?
No, because I don't know. If you send like an Because like if I just agree to it entirely, then like
Okay. Well,
you could just bring up like
I'm gonna
a-
pause it real quick.
It's not an issue. I can give you.
All right, so I do like what Wallflower did here in terms of not instantly agreeing to use like a website he's unfamiliar with, because I've seen in some debates where people do agree to that kind of stuff, and suddenly they get brought definitions that they don't agree with, but they already agreed to use these definitions earlier, like character stats and profiles wiki definition of like a universe and shit.
I
Yeah,
don't like
it's-
this happening. I don't like this happening in general, to be honest, because it like well, if you're going to use a pre-existing tiering system, like you need to agree. You just should have been brought up at the beginning. You guys should
Yeah.
have agreed upon it beforehand to treat whatever tiering system you're using as axiomatic. You can still have separate interpretations of how the tiering fits in that system, but like you literally cannot get anywhere like in a versus battle where you have to scale anything. You cannot get anywhere if you both don't agree to some pre-established measurement by which to scale these things.
Yeah, I definitely should have like established that before the debate.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's something to just like keep in mind, like before even getting into the arguments themselves. Like once, like after you've established your premises, like just like establish then like a metric in which you both see like agree upon, right? And then from there you build your arguments like accordingly.
Yeah,
I also
like
kind of want to mention. Oh no, go ahead, Thunder.
oh, I was just
Before
gonna say, like, before a debate, you should definitely like ask the person like what tiering system they are wanting to use, like, so that way, like, either you can agree onto that tiering system, or if you don't agree with that tiering system, say, hey, well, I don't want to use that one. Can we use this one instead? Like, if somebody says they're gonna use versus battle wiki, and I just don't want to deal with versus battle wiki's like terrible definitions, I could be like, hey, well, that's I don't really agree with versus battle wiki. How about we do use character stats and profiles, and like we can either agree or disagree. If we don't agree on an axiom by which the tiering should be done, then we just can't have our debate.
Bro, I don't know about you, but when somebody wants to use versus battle wiki, I just agree because I know that I'm gonna like still be better.
I do too, but like obviously you want to make sure that you clarify that, because otherwise you might have some guy come out of nowhere and be like, oh well, according to the Omni double Jeopardy wiki, this is the definition of
the Omni Infinite Russian Man Grizzly wiki.
Yeah, like they're just gonna pull out random wikis and like they could get away with it because you never settled on the axiom by which.
Yeah, see the Omni Russian Man Bear Grizzly wiki defines immeasurable as being unable to be measured with a tape measure. So
unable to move.
That's the definition right there.
Also, like, oh god, I don't remember what that one fucking wiki is. I need to remember what that one wiki is.
Superhero wiki.
No, like the one that like has like really
it's like fictional battle omniverse wiki.
Yeah. Me and you need to do like a live stream at some point covering that, because that shit is fucking stupid.
It's really, really funny. Yeah, we don't use scaling because it's bad. Here, look how we scale this character.
Yeah. And what were you gonna say, Kosu?
Yeah, so I also want to just like kind of touch on some things said that I felt was kind of like a bit incorrect. So like immeasurable speed or like linear time just linear time isn't like time. Like you said, it was like moving forward and back. Like
I was at a loss for like how else to explain it in monkey terms, as you put it.
Yeah, a good way is just like time moving forward, right? Like in a straight line. Like it's you don't like if you wanted to break it down in layman's, like that's just it. Like it's really just
time. It's really just time flowing in like a singular direction, essentially, like along a line, which is why it's called linear, because it's time that flows along a straight line. Like even if you have parallel timelines, both parallel timelines are moving in the same direction along separate straight lines, essentially. Not that that's how time works or whatever, but when you're discussing linear time, that's how it's proposed to work, right? So like that's like what you need to establish.
Yeah, to like there's just nothing to suppose it's going backwards.
Yeah,
so
because it doesn't move backwards.
I was just like O's, no.
Yeah, because a character might be able to move backwards along the line that's been drawn due to the trajectory of time, but like time itself is not flowing simultaneously forwards and backwards.
And luckily the guy didn't catch that, because like if you were to say like, oh, my character can go back in time, well, it's like, okay, well, you've already pre-established that time running back, right, is still just linear time. So how's this character unbound now, right? Like he could have ratted if he caught that.
Hell yeah,
I'm not gonna say anything.
But
Right.
You'll
that was
see
just like a
later.
little teaching thing. But yeah, you're good.
Oh,
Right.
All right, we unpausing it now?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll unpause it.
You like the link, and then you can look specifically.
No,
at
no, no,
that
that's not what I'm
information.
saying. Like, I'm saying that if I agree to it as a whole, right, you could bring up like some other definition that I don't agree with, right? Like, not the immeasurable speed, right? But just something later on, and then
Okay,
be like,
well-
oh, you already agreed to character stats and profiles.
Okay, well
It's like
then do you?
what we're
okay,
gonna
okay,
do,
I
right,
understand that.
is
I
we're
understand
gonna
that. That's
go
not-
through
okay,
each
it's not
definition
necessary for you-
individually.
I
and s-
understand. It's not necessary for you to continue, right?
I
Alright,
pause
alright,
this.
We can
Pause
go through
this.
the definitions individually.
Like, that's another thing I want to talk about is like that's another no-no too. Like, when it doesn't matter like whether or not you know what your opponent is trying to say, right? Like, you need to let them finish their statements, their argument, whatever it is they're doing before you respond. Like, it's fine to like I don't think interrupting is always if somebody is going off on like a non sequitur or like a relevant tangent or
Or if
something.
they're
I
going
think
in
that's
like,
fine.
or if they're going in a circle with their statement.
Yeah, my main
Right.
problem was that he just repeated the
that's
same
fine.
thing.
Hold on. I think it's fine in that case. But in this case, the guy was literally just expanding upon like why he felt like he did. And just because you understood what he was saying, I don't think it was justified to cut him off there. Like, just because you were being impatient, it's like, okay, well, he was explaining that like he's explaining like why he would be concerned about agreeing to character stats as axiomatic without prior knowledge of it, right? And like you were just kind of being rude by being like, oh, hey, yeah, you stop, you don't need to continue. It's like, no, let him continue, man.
Yeah, if they're elaborating on a point, I'd just let them finish.
Yeah, and obviously, voice crack. Obviously, if like somebody is going like legitimately going in circles, like with the topic and just going like basically on and on about the same thing, or they go off on like some tangent, while continuing on to that point. Like basically, they could go from a point to a tangent. Like it should be like the judge that basically goes in and says, "Hey, like." You're getting off topic, or hey, you're starting to repeat yourself. Like, just like.
Well, it depends. It depends, right? Because in a lot of debates, you wouldn't want the judge to step in unless it was pre-agreed upon that the judge could step in, like on their own. Really, what you would want in that situation, right? Especially if they're not like throwing ad hom or like being like just rude or whatever, or name calling, which is not the same as ad hominem or whatever. But like so. Like at that point, it is kind of your responsibility as a debater to like call for the judge and say, look, this guy is like at this point going in circles, like his argumentation is circular. Like can you ask him to like move on to the next point, or can we get a judgment on this point, or whatever the case is, right?
Mhm.
So whatever you're wanting to see happen, like at that point, if you have a judge, you can ask them about it. Me, if I was debating an opponent, didn't have a judge, I'd be like, yeah, so argumentation at this point is circular, and because due to that fact, like the dialectic's not progressing, and like I would request that we move on to the next point and drop this one, or whatever.
Mm-hmm. So we unpausing now? Whoop.
You got fucking marshmallows in your mouth?
I'm eating pizza.
He got my balls in his mouth.
No, I'm eating pizza. But yeah,
sausage pizza.
actually, it is a sausage pizza. It's a bacon sausage. It's basically almost like a meat lovers.
Speaking of sausage,
Pizza?
speaking of sausage,
Is that so?
speaking of sausage, Kosu,
Yes.
like me and you later.
Shut.
Anyway, yeah, you can hit play.
All right, cool.
Visually, are you're
Yeah.
fine?
What are you the part
Yeah,
of?
sure.
Okay, but our main source for these definitions, unless we like have an outside source and we don't agree on a specific definition, will be character stats and profiles. Does that work?
Sure.
Okay, so then do you like accept the definition from character stats and profiles for immeasurable speed?
Where is it at? Let me see.
Okay, let me give you the exact one.
Screenshot it.
Okay. Okay. Immeasurable, the ability to move at a speed unbound by linear time entirely and thus cannot be measured using the basic speed formula.
Oh, so like if like Gojo stops time, he would be unbound by time, right? And he would have immeasurable speed.
That's a hack's ability, that's not necessarily speed tiering.
Yeah, no, if he's able to move within that stop time.
Well, no, not necessarily. That again,
Why
that would
not?
just be like a resistance to that specific hack's ability. Because in order to use the hack's ability, you would have a resistance to it. That's different from just sheer speed tiering.
Hold up.
Do you
Hold up.
disagree with that?
We're
So
pausing.
I'm gonna stop this here because like this is an issue with your debating as well. You literally were talking about how to like you got him to agree to character stats as a somewhat like axiomatic system, like, and then he asked you about like how you define a measurable. You were discussing it, and then he immediately got into his scaling of Gojo, right? Which you're just allowing him to do. Like you were still like trying, like you for one are supposed to be scaling your character first.
Yeah,
And
I have
for
an issue
two-
with getting sidetracked.
For two, like like you were still like like after the like what you should have done is you should have been like, well, we can discuss whether or not Gojo is immeasurable, but at this time, like I'm still scaling. I'm still giving
Yeah,
my like initial scale, and so like since that burden is on me at the moment, like you'll have to wait like to discuss the scaling, right? And like if you wanted to continue at that point, you could have either called the judge to it or something, but like literally letting him take control of the debate like that is not good. And like him just coming in being like asserting that like, oh well then this automatically means that Gojo is this, like you don't need to respond to that. Like there's no reason to like go down that tangent. You're
Yeah,
just
I've got a
allowing yourself
really
to be
bad
baited
habit
into
of
it.
doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just I feel the need to address every single point he gives in depth.
Yeah, it's unnecessary, and it's probably why this debate is like an hour long.
Yeah, just be conscious of like where the debate is at, right? Like while you're debating, if he like makes a point, right, and like he starts to go off on something, right, just be aware, conscious of like where the debate is currently, right, and like who is in control, right, and then like if he starts to derail, like hammer it back in, right, like just kind of like we could talk about Gojo in a sec, like let's
just
get
be more assertive there.
Get back on track. You could tell.
Yeah, like you have no problem calling people names clearly, but like if you have a problem keeping the debate on track, like
it's his.
Yeah, because like I don't have a problem insulting him, but if he makes a point, like my first instinct isn't to, oh hey, shut up, I'm trying to do something. Like my first instinct is like, oh, I'm gonna address this because like he said something I think is dumb.
Yeah, you need to think about like burden. Like you need to like always keep in mind who has the burden of proof at that moment.
Yeah.
Like if like because like honestly like a lot of times I've seen people like do that type of thing where they like on where somebody says something and then they move on to that point, and because they've moved on they dropped their point. So like that's an easy way to get like basically your scale like while you're doing it dropped.
Yeah, I will keep that in mind.
All right. Well,
all right.
Yeah, you can hit play.
All right, I'll put play.
I do, but I don't think it's important right now. So let's see. Okay, sure. I agree to the definition. Now send like your justification, like the scaling.
Yeah, let me post the scan.
He did something really weird here that I didn't really know how to counter.
Okay, so let me just post this other scan real quick.
I'm gonna quickly pause it for a second. I'm gonna give some context because y'all can't see, but well, none of us can actually see the actual where he's posting it. But I remember where he posted. I remember what happened here. I can give some context.
I can just post the scan.
Well, like the thing is, I don't have like the video on screen because like again like it's most of the time it's just you drawing. So
yeah. So I can give some context to it.
No, I mean like I could post the scan in Staff C chat, but that's what I meant.
Okay, I guess that can work.
Well, I mean like,
anyways,
what exactly like is necessary about like what you're bringing up right now?
You'll see in just a second actually. So I'm gonna unpause it.
Okay, as you can see in the top scan, it says a clear, beautiful power, a light unhindered by the layers of time. That is referring to like the light emanated by the Sailor Crystal. Like, I mean, not the Sailor Crystal, the Silver Crystal, which Sailor Moon has become one with at that point, which you then see in the next scan, where she is like literally in the sky, like as light, and is like one with the Silver Crystal, going back in time to grab Tuxedo Mask. So do you have any contentions with that?
Is this canon?
Yes, it is canon. This is the manga. What do you mean?
Could you prove that?
Prove what?
That it's canon.
Canon to what? The manga?
Yes.
Okay, why would I need to prove that it's canon if it is the source material?
No, because I don't know it's the source material,
You're not
right?
asking me to like prove whether or not it's canon. You're asking me to prove whether or not it is the source material.
No, I'm asking you, okay, right? Since I don't know if this is canon, right? But you're like you're claiming it is, so I'm just asking you to prove it is.
Okay, so you're asking me to prove whether or not this is the source material.
Whether it's canon, yes. Source material, whatever you call it.
That's not the same thing. You can't equivocate that. Something cannot be the source material, but can still be canon to a universe. For example, the original source material for Dragon Ball, like just the Dragon Ball, is the manga. But there, whatchamacallit, like there are spin-off manga to the Dragon Ball manga. They're still canon to that. So it is important to like delineate.
Yeah, I don't care, right? Just like
so
like I just want you to prove this is canon.
Okay. Well, you're using very screwy language here, so that's why I'm trying to make sure we whatchamacallit. Like,
I'm sorry to interrupt the debate. I do need to say, Project, don't type in the chat anymore about the debate, because that is interrupting the debate, and that could give an advantage to either
Project.
either one person. Either one. Thank you, Wildfire.
Yeah, Project. I'm gonna have to e-spank you later.
Thank you, Wallflower, but I have this. So I'm just gonna ask you not to do that again. Thank you. Continue with what you were saying.
Okay.
Yeah, Project. What he said.
So as I was saying, it's important to like separate these two things because they're not they're not inherently the same thing. If we start treating them as the same thing, then we could get into like weird situations later on down the line. So it is like important to clearly define the words we're using.
You sound like a nerd, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna pause this right here.
Yeah.
First of all, the comment about him saying that he sounds like a nerd. Yeah, obviously. I don't even think I have to make a comment about that. But when it comes to the source material, right?
Yeah, I need some help on that.
Correct me if I am wrong. But you never stated prior to the debate that you are using canon Sailor Moon.
No. No, I didn't.
You literally
Dude,
didn't have
so much time.
You didn't have to prove any of that.
Yep.
That is so true.
The thing
that could have saved us so much fucking time.
Like,
thank you for clarifying.
Obviously that was a ratty argument, and so and also saying, well, oh, we didn't establish canon Sailor Moon is also kind of ratty. But
yeah,
I replied to Rat. I probably replying to Rat.
They wasted too much.
Like obviously some people.
Yeah. I just want to mention that I think the implication there was that he was using a canon version, right? I don't think the guy asking him to prove something like the canonicity of something was wrong at all.
Well, see, I have a couple of issues with it. Mostly this, right? First of all, is they didn't establish prior to the debate what versions of the characters they were going to be using, so canon is pretty irrelevant to the fucking debate, actually, in this case. Because again, that's one of the things you need to pre-establish, right? When somebody's like, "Oh, I'm gonna use like Superman or whatever," it's like, okay, what are you using? Cosmic armor? Are you using composite? Are you using like New 52? Are you using like post crisis?
Golden Age. You're using
using, right?
To clarify, I want to say, and sorry to interrupt you, Grim. I was under, at least as the judge, I was under the assumption we would be using the manga variations of each character. Manga.
Okay, well, why were you under that assumption? Did either of them ever like?
Yeah, there was no basis.
Yeah, there's no
There was no
basis.
basis. It was just my pure assumption.
Okay, so then you should never make that assumption. As a judge, if two people are debating and they haven't pre-established like canonicity, they haven't pre-established said versions, then like somebody questioning canonicity is irrelevant, because like at that point you can use any version of the character you want to, because guess what? Nobody established that beforehand. That's just how that works,
That is
right?
true. Thank you.
In a debate sense, yeah, I agree. Like if it's not pre-established on what version of like the what canonicity they're drawing these like references from, then yeah, you can absolutely draw from anything. Though
and here's
it's
here's the second issue with that too, right? Like, let's say for a minute that his question in some universe is fair, right? Like, let's say they establish something or whatever. If he has no prior knowledge of the verse, how is he going to determine whether what you give him as evidence proves it's the source material? It just seems like a pointless question. If he doesn't have knowledge on Sailor Moon or some opinion himself on what already is canon, then what he's doing is asking you to prove something, which since he has no knowledge of, he's either just going to have to blindly agree with whatever you present, or he's just never going to take anything you present as evidence enough of what you're trying to prove.
Yeah, and that's why I tried to like establish like the source material.
Yeah, I think the way he worded it for sure, like I think the positioning on like how Zeno was trying to like make him agree to was the right way, because like canon, the proof something's canon can be canon to anything if you don't know what like the canonicity or like what the origins of said canon would draw from.
Yeah,
right? like I think Zeno trying to position it to where, okay, so like then you're asking me what prove it's the source material, right? Is not a bad choice. I think more so, I mean, yeah, like I'm not going to presume like the guy's intent or anything, but you know,
I'm not either. I'm just saying like those are two issues I had with it.
For sure, yeah.
From anecdotal experience, it sounds ratty, but like again, like I'm not presuming that. I'm just saying like the two like issues that don't really matter about ratting or whatever, the two issues I had with it. Like I already stated this, but yeah, I have to use the bathroom, but y'all keep playing and keep the train rolling.
So are we unpausing it now? I just want to make sure everyone's done.
I'm trying to think of like if I had anything else to say. I didn't. No, I don't. I don't have anything else.
I do have a little bit of something to say. Pee-pee stinky poop fart.
Zeno.
Shut. I'm gonna start playing it now. Oh, is this the silent part where he's...
Yeah, I'm looking for a scam.
Yep. It'll be like that for a
You
little
can go ahead and skip forward. This lasts like 5 minutes.
Finding the specific manga chapter.
Oh, there it is.
We said 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shadow, go ahead and set the timer.
I'm just gonna I'm gonna let everyone know I'm gonna skip it for a couple minutes to when the debate picks back up.
Okay.
I know roughly when it picks back up. If I remember correctly, it should be right about here.
It not be from the manga.
Okay, a little back.
From some hen
Definitely a little back.
relevant.
A little more.
My current mic, so I need to quickly fix that.
Oh, that is very tragic.
Yeah. This is where I made a.
Don't mind me.
This is where I realized that because I was recording the debate. This is why I realized, oh shit, my mic wasn't picking up on Streamlabs.
Where the fuck is my
Your video. I mean, what's your
There it
YouTube
is.
channel
All right,
called?
good.
Relevant.
There you go.
I'm
Well,
going back.
it doesn't matter what you think.
Cause like, what if I want to like go on my bathtub and like watch videos later, huh?
It's later, and this is that.
I'm gonna pause it real quick for clarification. He was asking for my YouTube channel, which wasn't relevant,
Oh yeah.
and Zeno brought that up. Which,
Yeah, no,
good on
He does that a lot.
he brought it
He-
up
he
in
was-
he brought that up in the other
From what
debate. He was asking if I knew. He was asking if I knew of some other person, and I'm like, that's not relevant. I'm not going to answer that because I like, and also I'm a judge. Like, why the fuck would I have to answer that question?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was
It's-
trying to distract Zeno, so he ran out the timer. Because we had a 5-minute timer that you had to find your scans, and bring them. So like we didn't be there for like.
Well, I
30
don't think-
minutes waiting for scans.
Well, I don't know if it's really him wanting to drag out the timer because, like I said, he did that in the other
I
debate
think
when
he's
there
just a
wasn't.
douchebag.
Well, he did that in the other debate
That
where there
too.
wasn't a time, like there wasn't a timer currently ticking when he said that. It was more of like just him asking that just because he's trying to like break the dialectic.
Okay. Anyways, can I unpause now?
Yeah.
All right, bet.
Wait. So like, what are you? Wait. So are you implying that Are you implying that these scans are photoshopped?
That's not at
Or,
all
like,
what
wait,
I'm
wait, are you,
implying.
well, okay. So then, what are you implying then? Or are you implying that these scans are fake? What's the issue?
No, cause like you're like just like sending me this scan that I have no idea about, right? And you're like,
Okay. So then
oh,
where,
this is
wait,
the
where
real
else would it
Sailor
have
Moon.
come from then?
I don't know. I'm just asking you to prove the validity.
The validity of what? That these come from?
Pause real quick. I tried to like trip him up here and see if I could shift the burden to
Wait,
proof,
hold on,
so
hold
I
on.
didn't actually have to find it.
Hold on, hit play because I think I know where you're going with this, and I want to hear if he says something.
All right. Let's play. Oh fuck.
Manga?
Yes, because
Okay, so
it
then
could just
you
be
are
like from
implying
some.
that- so
No,
then you're
because it
implying
could
that
just be
these are
from
fake.
some hentai site.
Okay, there you go.
Okay,
Pause
then
it.
prove that they're from hentai.
Zeno, you did you did kind of the weird thing. You could have just said that like what he's arguing is it's an argument from possibility. It's a possibility that this could be fake. Therefore, like he's saying that it's fake.
Yeah, I just asked them to prove that it was from a hentai site.
Yeah. All right. We're learning. All right. I'm gonna pause it. All right.
That
I'm
definitely
learning,
would have been like
folks.
a better
Oh, wait.
disposition there to like just
Okay,
say that
but-
he's making an argument from probability.
Just want to make sure that we're done discussing.
I'm finished.
I don't want to sound like an ass hat or just. I just want to make sure. Okay,
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, you can go.
All right. Bet.
Because that's your presupposition and burden of proof to bear.
Actually, no. Because you just
Yes,
made
it
you
is.
just made a claim that they're from some. Like,
No,
hentai site or something.
That's a negative, right?
That's
so
not a negative.
no,
actually.
no. Let me speak, right? You sent it, right? So in sending this, you're presupposing that this is not fake, right? You're using this as an actual
Oh, wow,
scan.
I thought you didn't
So
understand the big word.
Okay, so do you think this is the real scan or not?
Hmm.
Do you think this is from the manga or not?
Okay. Why? Wait. Why would it? Not
I hate
be
to
from
I hate to say
manga?
pause, but there's something I need to add. In regards to like what he just said about it being a negative, that's not a negative claim. Like him
It's not.
saying that something is from like that something could be from a hentai site or whatever the fuck he
Yeah,
said.
that's a positive.
That is a
claim.
positive claim. He is saying that it could be this, not that it like couldn't be this, right? Couldn't be a negative.
Yeah, what I could have like said there at that point should have been like something along the lines of you just like made a new claim, so you would have to prove that instead of me having to prove that this is from the manga or whatever. But I tripped up there.
All right. Good stuff being said here. Good stuff. This, as someone in chat said, this should be power scale. This should be a power scaling class, to be honest. So let's continue, shall we?
How far into this are we?
17
Oh,
minutes.
17 minutes.
God, it's so boring.
I'm so sorry. I'm gonna unpause it now.
Would
So
it
you're
be
just
from?
like
no,
not
no, no, no,
answering
no,
the
no, no, no,
question.
no, real quick,
So-
Where
so,
else
okay.
would it be from?
It's a simple yes or no. Do you think this is from the manga? Is it from the manga? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, then prove it.
That's where I
That's
fucked
all I'm
up.
asking.
Yeah,
like, I don't know
yeah,
why
you
you're
fucked
going
up.
through this
what?
weird.
No.
What'd you say?
Yeah, no, Zeno fucked up there by saying yes. He should have just said, I don't need to answer that. The burden of proof is currently on you.
Yeah.
All right.
I made a big stinky dumb.
All right, I'm got it.
Oh, shit.
Why? Okay, how do you suppose like I prove it?
Just send me the direct chapter so I can go check.
Okay.
You've got 2 minutes, by the way.
No. 'Cause
Yes.
We're arguing like an entirely different point.
No, this is the same point about the same thing, which is the validity of the skins you sent. 1 minute 59 seconds.
Well, no, because we've been arguing this entire time. No. This timer's not gonna run as we argue something. So
All right, as the
No.
judge, I'm gonna intervene, and I actually do have to agree with Zeno. When an argument starts on like this, the timer does have to be paused.
No, because he said it was for scans.
yeah, but if I am literally like arguing with you about something, then that does not matter because we are arguing a different
Nigga,
point.
I
and
don't give a
no.
fuck.
So you're saying I have to find the scans while arguing a point with you? You sound stupid right now.
Okay, then what stops me from saying I'm gonna go get a scan and then just keep arguing with you and never getting the scan?
Wait, what do you mean?
Right? What
Okay,
if
pause
like,
it.
I just make up this fake
Got it.
bullshit?
The big thing, right? The big thing that's stopping him from doing that is if Zeno just doesn't engage in his tangents from the dialectic. If he is going to get a scan and Zeno just doesn't engage any other topics he is trying to bring up or any other points he's trying to bring up, the current thing he's supposed to be doing is getting a scan.
Yeah.
And in the case of this, like, this guy made a new like positive claim, and then Zeno asked him to like prove that positive claim. So basically, the guy like raised his like made it so that the burden of proof is now on him.
I had a potentially big brain play go in there, and then I screwed it up.
I do have a question about being a judge.
Brainless.
Was it right for me to interject with saying like the timer has to be paused since
No.
it was a big argument going on?
No.
I don't interject in that case.
No, like don't interject unless they ask for the judge in that case. Just keep your timer like at whatever like you have it, because his
Okay.
like, whatever the fuck his timer is doesn't matter. He's not the judge.
Right. I had my timer paused at this moment, by the way.
Yeah.
My timer was paused because when they started arguing, I was like, okay, let's pause this real quick but yeah. So I'm gonna continue.
Shit about Gojo being boundless, and I say, oh, I'm gonna go get the scan, and then I never get the scan, but I just keep arguing with you.
Okay, then we would still be arguing, and you wouldn't like. I don't understand what you're trying.
Oh,
to
you'd
say.
be fine with that?
Not necessarily. It depends.
You're stupid as fuck.
Oh, what?
Wallflower, I'm gonna ask you not to insult your opponent today. That is an attack, and I'm gonna ask you not to do that. Don't do it again.
For clarification, before the debate started, we agreed we weren't gonna be insulting each other. It's gonna be relatively civil. So
Okay.
yeah, I was trying to enforce that, and I did enforce it on Zeno when he called him a retard. So
I'm pretty sure Grim had a fucking brain aneurysm. He's just not here anymore.
Grim, are you good?
He's probably off like kissing his kitties.
Just want to make sure Grim's good.
Zeno, are you saying that he is right now at this moment mouthing pussy?
God damn.
In colloquial terms, yes.
Hold on,
Alright, cool.
Are you fine with me swearing on your stream?
As long as it's not as long as it's not something fucking racial, homophobic, or sexist.
Okay, good.
I think we should support the gays.
Okay, Zeno, you're good work, but down a bit, Chief. Anyways, yeah, so that's why I interjected here. I was like, you shouldn't be throwing out homonyms. We agreed upon that. Blah blah blah. As a judge, if someone is breaking the rules, should I intervene in that and make it known that or should I just stay quiet? If like there's a rule that we decide upon before the debate and someone breaks that rule, as judge, do I intervene or do I just stay quiet?
I mean, it depends on like the debate, right? In some debates, like they are fine, like they presuppose that they're fine, not presuppose, but they pre-establish that they're fine with like the judge interrupting, right? But otherwise, like Zeno would just have to say that's an ad hom, and like at that point, the judge could be like, yeah, that like basically ask for like a judge clarification, a judge like to rule on that. Otherwise, like like he could get away with ad homs if it's just not called, and like you did pre-establish that like you're fine with judges like interrupting.
Okay, so that's something I'll need to keep in mind in the future. That ask them if they're fine with the judges, like
Now, obviously, again, it also depends on like it's a case by case basis. Like for an example, in like a debate tournament, right? Like obviously in the rules of the tournament, like they could pre-establish that like judges can interrupt in certain cases. Like obviously. And I don't know if there's be a single debate tournament that would have rules like that could disqualify somebody if they break those rules, and then like a judge not be able to interrupt, because otherwise if they broke those rules, the judge would just end the debate there, because there's no point in going on further if they broke a rule that like would be disqualifiable.
Yeah, that's actually what ended up happening. We made like a rule. There's no trolling, no like ad hominem attacks, no insulting each other.
Well,
that.
To clarify, like what Grim said to me earlier about the disqualification thing in regards to like this type of stuff, it's more of like you would not want to say like a like obviously in a debate tournament, like it's understandable when you say disqualification, because that's like, okay, well there's like the pre-established rules, right? So one of those pre-established rules was broken, but like otherwise if you just say like, oh, like a big announcement with this says like disqualification, you aren't clarifying like by what like metric they were disqualified for. So like and in this particular case, like of him, like if you continue to like like you can make it several different things based on like why they were disqualified, or like the best thing also would just be not putting it as disqualified, probably just put it as like that they lost via judgment, like the by judge decision. Or even you could even just say like like in the particular case of like what the other debate that we don't have on recording, he said something along the lines of like,
by the way,
he was arguing with like a judge decision and continuing to go on to that point despite the judge deciding otherwise, like basically that point making a decision on that point, and so they had to move on. He kept going back to that point. At that point, that would have been like you could rule that as concession via burden or rejoinder.
That's fair. All right, see, good. I'm learning how to be a better judge here. This is good. This is one of the reasons why I wanted y'all to review, so I could learn how to be a better judge. Thank you.
I think I can explain that right. I think I explained that right. I hope if Grim was there, he could fucking correct me if I said anything wrong there, but I don't know if he's there.
I mean, we can go over it later if you want.
The debate sage, GrimTheFangKing.
So I'm going to unpause it now. Is everyone fine with that?
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'm sorry.
Don't apologize. Just do better.
Whoa. Okay, if you're gonna do this, like that's kind of stupid, my guy. I'm not gonna lie.
Ooh, you got 20 minutes. I mean, 20 seconds.
Okay, buddy.
15, 14, 13, 12.
Okay,
11,
the judge literally just ruled that the timer would have to be paused. So like, that's not how that works.
Who said you could talk?
Okay, so you're breaking the dialectic, and if you're gonna keep doing stuff like that, then no, you literally just like called the judge a nigger, and you just sat there. And
I forgot about the other.
Pause for a second. To clarify,
hold on. Before you go any further with this, the language used by the individuals in this is not supported by me or anybody here besides Zeno, because he fucking said it.
I don't support it within like a racially based context. I was simply quoting him.
Anyway,
to clarify what Zeno meant here.
And also YouTube.
Before the debate had started.
Also YouTube.
Wallflower. Wallflower had called both Zeno and me that word.
The gamer word.
Yeah, the gamer
The
word.
gamer word.
And Zeno was, yeah, Zeno was being Zeno, as we all know.
So Thunder, you may have to like go back and edit a little bit of that out.
It's a fucking live stream. I can't edit it.
No, when it's over.
You can
this-
edit it after it's done.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I can edit it after it's done, but like,
I totally forgot about that. That's my bad. Thunder.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
well, is this gonna go anywhere? Because like, I'll be honest, I don't want to sit here through the whole thing.
I
getting
mean,
boring
you
as fuck.
can end it if you want.
But I also don't know if Grim is there because we're gonna do that TikTok thing, and I don't know if Grim or Kosu are there.
It may just
I think
end up
Kosu's
like
there.
ends up.
If they're there, they're on mute still.
I mean, we could talk a little bit, unless you want to continue.
What the fuck? Wait, hold on. There's something I was gonna fucking talk about, but I don't remember.
So I got snapped up by a bunch of kidnappers the other day, and they touched my nose.
Okay, Zeno,
that's a pause.
Live streamed on YouTube, so
Yeah, I didn't say anything bad. I just said they touched my nose.
Yeah, I'm stopping.
Zeno, fucking behave yourself. Wheel yourself in.
I am behaving. I didn't say anything bad.
You know what the implication was.
You are tiptoeing on a very dangerous line.
Susan does not
I have good talent.
Your attitude here, mister.
Anyways, are we gonna continue watching the video?
I mean, no, probably not, because it's like literally like it is the most fucking stupid thing I've ever sat in my entire life.
If allowed, I do want to skip to one point. If we're gonna stop, I do want to skip to one point in the video, if allowed.
Okay, you can skip to that.
I wanted to skip.
Wait. Lucid's my forehead, my rules. I get to dictate that, but I will allow it.
I wanted to skip when he starts scaling Gojo. Something really funny happens. I want to get y'all's opinion on. I think Thunder knows what I might be talking about.
Oh, you talking about him not knowing what like transduality is when he made the point?
Okay.
Yep. Well, hold on. You want my opinion on that? We don't have to show that point, right? Because I basically just stated it. He tried to scale Gojo to using transduality, and then Zeno asked him to define what transduality is, and he said he doesn't know what it is. Right? If you're just gonna scale somebody using some sort of method, or if you're gonna scale somebody like just in general, know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like
I'm sorry.
It shouldn't be like a matter of because this happens a lot in the community from what I can see, where people like will just watch another content creator's like video and say I can fucking scale this character, but they don't understand the intricacies of what the scale is, right? And so when people like push them on like proving certain things, they don't know how to prove it, and like either they'll just like completely cave in, or like they'll just go, oh well, here's my proof, and they'll post the fucking video of that they like watch the scale from, and it's like, okay, well, why are you posting somebody else's scale? You present this information yourself. And if you
literally somebody did that earlier today in the general chat.
In Clothespins?
Popo?
Oh yeah, it was like Poyo or whatever.
Oh
yeah,
Poyo. He linked that's Yuha video.
Get back on track.
Yeah.
Nah.
But for clarification on what point we're specifically talking about, later in the video, or later in the debate, he began to bring up how Gojo. There was a scan of where Gojo. Someone said that he created like a negative apple, and that by that definition he does not obey the standard logic of the tiering system, and therefore scales above the tiering system, which the transduality argument does not scale him above. At best, it scales him to like 1A, but probably low 1A at that.
Well, okay, let's get to the tiering system, like the scaling above the tiering system thing, because there's a lot of people who make this argument. It's the dumbest argument like ever. Let me just put it like this to anybody who genuinely thinks that that's a good argument. the tiering system is an axiom by which like the debate hinges, right? So basically, in order for you to actually like quantify the power of like characters and be able to debate them, you have to agree on the axiom of a tiering system, whether it's character stats and profiles, whether it's versus battle wiki, whether it's bumfuck wiki. I don't give a shit. Like, it doesn't matter what it really is. Like whatever you determined prior to the debate, that is the axiom by which you're determining it. And if you don't determine it prior, then, well, one, you suck, and two, like, it would just be then like some sort of one of them would have to be an axiom still, because otherwise you're quantifying the power without actually like it meaning anything, right? So you need to have some sort of axiom to which it hinges. And if you say that your character is above the tiering system, then you are breaking the dialectic by trying to undermine the axiom by which the debate hinges. Now, on top of that, let's just say that like you don't even want to make that argument. If your character scales above the tiering system, then they cannot be tiered, thus they are below the tiering system.
What?
We're talking about like
we were just talking about
the tiering.
We were talking about how, because we're basically stopping the video since there's no point. But
Yeah,
I was talking about a later point, and I wanted to talk with Thunder about it, or at least get his opinions on it.
We're talking about
he tries to use the negative Apple Gojo argument for the transduality.
Well, the way he got there doesn't matter. The point is, we're talking about the whole argument about like Unga Boonga, my character scales above the tiering system, and why it's a terrible argument.
Yeah, that is a really bad argument because of the fact that, like, even if you don't agree to use one person's tiering system over the others, right? By even using the argument that your character scales beyond the tiering system, in that case, like, by very nature of making that argument, you are presupposing that whatever tiering system is being used is axiomatic, right? Because you're by saying it scales above the tiering system, you are agreeing that the axiom there is the tiering system. You're prescribing that there is a tiering system, in which case your character would be bound to the tiering system, right? And so saying it scales above the tiering system, which you've prescribed in that argument, you're not actually doing yourself any favors. You're not actually doing anything impressive. You're just saying that, well, I am not going to bind my character to the tiering system, which I myself am prescribing as being like axiomatic, which means like you're presupposing that it is like an automatic truth, right? And so if the tiering system is the truth and your character is not bound to it, your character is false.
That's such a
which by the way,
geeky way to put it.
Within the action of making your character a false to the truth that is the tiering system, you're already binding your character to a duality, which is fucking funny. Now, as far as using the -1 Apple to say that like it's trans dual, like you can say that. There's nothing wrong with that. But there are different levels of trans duality, and you need to quantify like the trans duality like that your character has. Not only that, but like I guarantee, from what I'm gathering, because I just got back, but what I'm gathering is that he's trying to say that it's like beyond all systems of logic or something retarded.
Yeah,
like that. Something stupid. Sorry, I shouldn't use that word.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which no, being trans dual, being not bound to like the binary system does not automatically make it beyond all logic. Like, if I implore anybody who has ever heard that argument to go on versus Battle Wiki or character stats or whatever they're using and look up trans duality, right? And they're going to be shown the different types of trans dualities, and like there is a type of trans duality that unbinds somebody to all logic. But here's the issue. By definition of like, by the fact that you're using the -1 Apple and you're saying it's not bound to the duality. Well, first of all, a -1 Apple being trans dual would be the case if the type of trans duality that you're assigning it, like if the dual system you're saying it's beyond would be either the true and false value of an apple, which doesn't actually work because like a -1 apple is basically a false apple, right? So it would still not really be transdual actually. But if you want to say it's above the binary, right, of like 0 and 1 or whatever, that's fine. But that doesn't mean that your character then like is beyond all logic and is superior to laws of non-contradiction and all that nonsense people try to argue for like their trans duality, right? Like 0 and 1 are a specific duality, and like those specific dualities are a lower form like of duality, right? Not all dualities are created equal, right? Space and time as a duality are not equal to the binary duality of 0 and 1. Like that's just how that works, and I'm not going to break down why and get into scaling dualities here in like depth, but yeah, that doesn't really fucking do anything for your character scaling. It's just a ratty argument, and it's just like used by bad people who can't scale, and like either they can't scale and they're like misinformed, or they're just being a ratty and trying to make it sound impressive. But it's really not. So also sorry it took me so long. Like I had to go and run my family to the store, and it was like really bad.
Fine.
Like that happened like right after I got out of the bathroom. I got a call and stuff, but yeah.
Well, yeah,
the roads
like
are horrible. There's like no salt and snow plows or anything, by the way, here. So like, it was just me driving on ice and snow.
The while you were gone, the only thing that I really like, I needed clarification because like I didn't want to like I tried to explain it, but I don't know if I explained it in the correct way. It was more of like the disqualification thing that you talked about earlier, because Shadow brought up the disqualification thing, and I was talking about how like, well, disqualification is like fine in like a tournament setting because like there's presupposed like rules that like if you break those rules, then like you would be disqualified, and people can just check the rules and see, okay, they broke like, oh, what are these rules? But like otherwise, like if you
yeah,
like,
in these private debates, unless you've agreed upon a set of rules that the opponent's not adhering to, disqualification's not like a valid judgment.
Oh,
it's just
we
not.
did. We agreed upon like no like insulting each other, no trolling, and that's the reason why I disqualified him. He just
but even with those what Grim tried to explain to me was like, even with those, like you shouldn't, like if you're gonna announce that stuff, then you would want it to be like transparent and clear on the reasoning why, because otherwise if you just put disqualification, that's not clarifying why the person was like why the person lost.
Yeah, because to the layman, like it's gonna look like if that guy went to like TikTok or just went in just board service and stuff and said, "Oh, well, they said I lost they disqualified me or whatever." What that sounds like to somebody is, "Oh, you know what? The fucking biased judge got irritated and didn't like me or my arguments. So instead of focusing on the debate, they took their personal fifis into account and they fucking disqualified me." So that's what that sounds like. So you need further clarification. And the other thing is, even if you don't have to do that, but even if the person agreed to like these pre-established rules, no trolling is such a fucking vague thing, because I can argue that Zeno was also trolling during that debate when he was doing things like calling the guy a retard and shit like that, right? So, like, he also broke these pre-established rules numerous times. So, in that case, I would have stopped the debate way earlier and just been like, "Look, if you both continue to act like this, it's just we're not gonna continue this, right?" But the thing in general is trolling is such a general and opinionated thing. Like, how do you judge how somebody's trolling? Like, you need to go further in expanding your criteria and saying exactly what you mean, because you having any sort of pre-existing knowledge or notion about how somebody's arguing something like doesn't necessarily mean that their strategy is then invalid and constitutes trolling, right? Not saying that the guy wasn't doing these things, because I obviously do have the thought that he was, but just as a judge, you have to be very, very careful about those things.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Thank you for the wisdom, Grim. So yeah, I guess since that's over,
we're gonna move on to watching the TikToks together now.
Yeah.
If Kosu has something to say, or yeah, our good friend Zan joined as well. Which
that's why I was like, whoa.
Wait, Zan's here?
Yeah, actually.
Oh my god, it's been so long.
Hey guys, how's it going? Hey guys, Zandiel here.
Probably my first interaction.
Everybody subscribe to Zandiel.
Special guest.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
I ordered a new PC today, actually, so I will be coming back. Whoop, whoop.
Oh,
Heck
yes.
yeah, I'm super excited about that. I am, you saw, I'm just getting back into things myself. You know that because you commented on how magnificent my beard is. Which
I was going to say, now that I know what a butch lumberjack you are, I'll never cross you again, mate.
He's Paul Bunyan. What are you talking about?
Sitting in his cabin debating people. You mind murderer. That's the next Netflix special.
Yes, Grim the Fang King, the butch lumberjack mind murderer.
The debate murderer.
Good lord. But yeah,
If
I'm
you
just
lose the
stopping by
debate,
my
he kills
boys,
Yeah.
as I often do. I'm just playing a game at the moment, so I'll most likely just listen to what you're talking about and try and figure it out, but then ultimately fail. How you guys doing
We're
anyway?
about to start on a new topic.
Stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, we're doing well. Yeah, we were just talking about a debate that Zeno had, and now we're like going to be like watching like power scaling TikToks and stuff, and things related to like who beats who and like who wins this fight and like gauntlets and stuff like that. And we're just gonna give our opinions as like professional professional debaters and scalers.
We're also gonna give opinions on like those ones that are like on really stupid topics, like what character. Like, how easily would a character be able to become, like, a Hokage?
Become Hokage?
Yeah, like, that's stupid.
Hey, it's not stupid, you know. If it's debatable, it's there.
I mean,
the other thing is Kosu, aka the evangelist here, like, his opinions are going to be considered valid and relevant because this dude has, like, TikToks with over 1 million views. So, like, people listen to him, you know? Like
that does sound familiar, Kosu.
We're talking about how you're a big boy, Kosu.
You're a big man.
Yeah.
Before I forget, Zeno, you doing good, mate? I haven't talked to you for a while.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Glad to hear it, my friends.
I have been just grinding every day to improve upon my art. That's about it.
I've been keeping an eye on Instagram, mate.
Oh,
it's
thank you.
Impressive shit.
Oh, thank you.
Well,
don't take me not liking it personally. I'm just a fucking slob. I see the pretty picture and I'm like, cool. And then I move on.
Well, I mean, King, Zeno has great art. What are you talking? So, of course, anyone who sees it would say it's good.
While we're talking about this, Grim, if you wouldn't mind, like, pulling up those TikToks and then, like, screen sharing.
Oh, you want me to do it? Okay.
Yeah.
No pressure. Well, I do already have TikTok open somewhere. I do not remember.
I think you sent it.
I do not remember whose TikToks that stuff was, but
you sent a DM of like one of them, I think, to me.
Yeah. I just got to go to like I think it should be in my liked videos or something like that. So just give me a second.
I'm going to jump in now. I'm here. I'll catch you guys in a bit. It's good talking to you.
All right.
Let me see. Let me get ready to debate an art. Like that's interesting. Who will obtain heaven? There's that guy's videos.
Oh, jeez, is this like JoJo's? What?
Okay, well, this guy, he tends to have a pretty biased opinion towards JoJo's, but you'll see.
Am I gonna have to create my own?
Where are we viewing this?
I'm gonna share my screen on Discord.
Yeah.
And we are gonna it's gonna be weird, so just bear with me on this crap. But
so wait, are we
streaming
this on? Are we streaming this on YouTube or something? Or?
Yes. Just
keep in mind, I'm going to be since considering that I am part of the TikTok community, I will have mostly neutral opinions about certain creators. Just to avoid.
Well, you have no idea who this creator is. I promise.
Oh no, I know.
You should accept all the drama.
I'm just saying for the future, if say we bring up Man in a Hat or something, someone who's a mutual of mine, I'll probably just be like, oh yeah, like I'll just speak mostly about the scales in the video.
That was the plan anyway. I'm not like I don't know about Thunder, but I like Delinquent here, but like I think like I speak for all of us when I say that like what we're trying to look at is the content and talk about the content and not really the creator themselves. Like we may or may not have an opinion about the creator, but I don't really want to get into that if at all possible. Like
I think
it's more about the content and
how dare you how dare you freaking dead name Delinquent, homie.
Like you can see the first video here, for example, right? Like
hold on, I'm pulling it up.
It's a very weird weird video.
So wait,
this thing like how long?
Delinquent, you're pulling it up on the stream?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up on my stream here.
Okay.
Why does it like how? What? Why would like they have specific like time spans to achieve
these characters? I'm so confused at what he's what he means. Like, how long would it take them to achieve Made in Heaven's strength?
I think that just the stand.
No, yeah, like the like requirements or whatever for Sea Moon to become the stand, right, and all that stuff. I'm pretty sure.
I still don't know what he's asking.
This doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna be honest.
Thundergrim, I'm gonna need y'all to explain exactly what you're asking because this is kind of.
This is how long it would take to achieve Made in Heaven for these characters. It says so. Like
they all should have never.
I don't know the qualifications to get Made in Heaven, so
yeah, neither do I.
But... Yeah, what are the qualifications, Graham? If you know.
That is Delinquent's area of expertise.
Look, I don't remember
them about like being smart and reading or something. I don't know.
There's a lot of like. Basically, Dio had like it deciphered in his journal. Like I'm trying to fucking get this dropped right. There's a lot of criteria, none of which I remember off the top of my head because it's just like really cryptic.
Okay, cool. So let's move on to one of his other videos then.
Yeah, it's really cryptic and stupid.
Let's not look at that one then. We'll go to is this the same? No, that's not even the same dude. How do I go to his I need to go to like gosh. I hate this trackpad so much, dude. This was not the poplar's choice to do. All right.
Whoa, what are these?
Let's start with this one, and we'll just go through them.
Strong anime character from each anime.
Yoriichi from Demon Slayer.
I already don't agree with this list. I'm
agnostic on that because I don't really scale Demon Slayer or care about it. I know people.
Yoriichi being the strongest in Demon Slayer, I can agree to that. I'm just wondering if we're talking about like the end of the series.
Okay, Giorno from JoJo's gets stopped by Jotaro.
Wait, hold on. Let's take this. Like, let's not all talk about.
Let's start like Americans. Let's start top left, then right, then left. We'll do it that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Yoriichi, if anybody if anybody knows any of that, I don't know shit about Demon Slayer.
I have some knowledge on Demon Slayer. I remember reading the end of it. Is he stronger than Demon King Tanjiro? Potentially, yeah. Demon King Tanjiro can't really use any of his breathing styles, as far as we saw in the Demon Slayer manga. So I'm pretty sure, yes, he is stronger. But if he can use but if we're saying like Demon King Tanjiro can.
Well, it's anime. It says anime. So like that shouldn't even be a thing anyway.
Oh, if we're talking about purely anime, then yeah, totally.
Oh no, if that's the case,
without doubt,
even exist.
He beat the fuck out of Muzan. So yeah, no.
It's weird. They must be talking about manga too. Like even though it says anime, that's gonna comment and say Yuha technically doesn't exist because the anime is
So if we are talking about manga, then yes, Yoriichi is probably the strongest. Depends on if we're taking into account a Demon King Tanjiro who can use his breathing styles. If not, then yeah, Yoriichi's the strongest.
Okay. So with Bleach, this is weird because if you're saying anime and you're using manga, like I would assume that like you should also count light novels, in which case I would probably argue that Soul King, like yes, I get it, like Ichigo, like spoiler alert, Ichigo like negs the Soul King or whatever, and then Yuha like absorbs whatever's left, right? But the thing about that is like that's not like a full power Soul King or whatever. He's just a sealed body that's holding the realms together in a crystal, which was which was like a spell that like it was like 5 sages or something like that made the spell to use the Soul King as an anchor, which he willingly did, and that to hold these realms together. And then he became sealed in a crystal, and he just kind of like degraded over time or whatever. It's such a weird thing to talk about, but I guess like depending on how you interpret it, yeah, could be the strongest. Like I don't really have too many issues with that. Although I would think like a prime light novel Soul King would probably be better, because I don't think Yuha absorbing what was left of the Soul King is the equivalent to like absorbing prime Soul King's power. But yeah, I don't know if anybody else here cares about Bleach, so I don't know what your opinions are, but
No, I don't know. Like you'd be the best to talk on that, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about Bleach. Bleach, I don't scale it.
I don't know nothing about no Bleach.
Tensura, yeah, Rimuru just is the strongest. I don't think
Is
anybody
Rimuru the
contests
strongest?
that.
I haven't kept
I
up.
think that's like the whole point of the series, isn't it?
Oh no, I mean in his verse.
Yeah.
Like in his own verse, he's the strongest. Yeah. I think that's fine to say, unless there's stuff.
I stepped away for a bit. Like, which one are we on?
Rimuru.
Be the
I think I agree with that.
Yeah.
We're not there yet, Zeno. If you're gonna keep doing that, then
I thought we were done with Rimuru.
Zeno, if you keep
We're literally talking about it.
Zeno, if you keep doing that, I'm gonna have to remove you from the fucking call.
Yeah, like open your ears, dude.
Right.
So now we can move on to Naruto, I guess, because everybody talked about Rimuru. Obviously, Sakura is not the strongest character.
I don't even know why.
Nope.
That's the thing. And it's specifically talking about Naruto Shippuden, right? Like,
yeah, it specifically says Naruto Shippuden, because like here's the thing. Like, I think this comes from like the weird, like maybe he's trolling or she's trolling, whatever they are. Like, I feel like maybe it comes from like the stance of like, oh yeah, Sakura body Shippuden from like, but it's Boruto Sakura that people make that argument for, right? Like Shippuden Sakura does not hold a candle to Kaguya or Naruto or Sasuke. Like, probably not even DMS Kakashi or whatever. Like, so I don't know.
Try to make.
So it's so weird. Now I have heard like idiots, and I'm gonna call them idiots. I'm not gonna name names, okay? But certain big people in the community have made these really weird arguments about how since Sakura has better chakra control, she's more efficient than Naruto and Sasuke, that she is somehow like so much stronger than them because chakra equals power. The only issue is this is literally just contradicted, like the way that's like you can argue that, but her being stronger is literally just contradicted in the Kaguya fight and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's like 0 point in making that argument. Like just a bad argument. So not to call out anybody in particular.
Plus, you just always had better chakra control than Naruto and Sasuke throughout the entirety of the series. So like that doesn't it didn't really amount to
still
anything.
stronger than her. So
yeah, like I mean, strong is relative. If you interpret it as raw physical strength, maybe you can make the argument. But even then, I don't think that's the case. Like,
not even in raw physical strength, because Naruto was able to like tail beast bombs with KCM too. So
yeah, there's just a lot of weird things that I don't think add up for that argument. But then next is like One Piece.
I know One Piece. I can weigh.
I do too. Doflamingo is obviously not the strongest character.
Yeah, he's nowhere near even the top.
He already got bodied by Luffy, let alone like Kaido or any of the other like current high tiers that we actually have scaling for. Doflamingo just doesn't scale to any of them. So
now I do want to make something clear. A lot, and I've seen at least in the One Piece Power Stance community, some people have been trying to say. Now this is spoilers for the current manga of One Piece, so if you're not reading it, fuck off. Some people have been trying to say that Doflamingo has something called Conqueror's Haki Infusion because he is a user of Conqueror's Haki. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's where you imbue either your fist, leg, or a weapon with your Conqueror's Haki, and it will make your attack a lot stronger. Similar to
that wouldn't matter. He still got bodied by Luffy and stuff. So.
But I'm just making the point that just because you have a Conqueror's Haki does not inherently mean you can use Conqueror's Haki Infusion. And even if he did, why didn't he use it against Luffy? He literally beat. he was literally trying his absolute hardest against Luffy.
I mean, not only that, but like he served under Kaido, like he worked for Kaido, like
he was
wouldn't
like his fourth
like
division.
like it's not like he's gonna go against Kaido or something, right? But like so it's like if he had the tool that could beat Kaido, you would think Kaido would be working for him, right? So yeah, that's just a dumb argument. And then Delinquent, here you go. JoJo's.
Jono being the strongest in JoJo is just absolutely like, it comes from this weird standpoint that people just think that like he's above all stands and all like everyone. Like, no, like even if you want to talk like stand users, like realistically in a versus like setting, like Jotaro should be able to beat him. There's nothing really that Jono has that could beat somebody like him. And it just comes down to this idea that people have that like GER will like protect him from absolutely anything, which is a no limits fallacy, and it's just such a dumb argument. The best that we've ever seen him protect from is like Diavolo, and Diavolo is undoubtedly weaker than GER.
Yep, that's what I was gonna say. Is like, isn't Diavolo weak in general than Giorno as well? So like, we've never seen GER work on anybody stronger, and especially not anybody stronger than Diavolo and stuff. And so it's kind of a ridiculous claim to make. Even like obviously, like I'm sure you'll agree with me, but even if you're talking about like extra sources like Jojo Lee and stuff, or if you talk about like the Over Heaven stuff, like Dio and stuff, like Heaven Ascension Dio and stuff, like obviously like GR has been shown in those cases to not work, and if you don't count them as canon, there's still no reason to believe that GR just fucking works absolutely no matter what and everything.
In Eyes of Heaven, we saw that like Heaven Ascension Dio was able to like negate the effects of it using his ability, which would show that like no, it doesn't work on absolutely everything.
And I also have a question about GR. So mainly about the stand arrow that they use, the Requiem arrow. From what I know about the Requiem arrow, it evolves your stand to fit the situation. Like it gives them an ability to like beat whoever they're fighting. Is that correct? Or like how the Requiem arrow works?
I don't think that there's like an actual
like Deus Ex Machina.
I don't think there's an actual like official like statement saying that. I think it's just more of like a fan theory.
Yeah, I've heard the theory that stand arrows kind of give you whatever you need in that time, but like that's.
I haven't seen any evidence of that actually being like there being some sort of canon like source that says that.
Okay.
Now, wouldn't that have like had an effect on what stand Polnareff got for his Requiem?
Yeah, like the biggest issue with the standpoint of that is that like when he first got pierced by the stand arrow, like in the flashback, Polnareff had like his Silver Chariot Requiem had the ability of like putting people to sleep and swapping their souls and stuff like that. So like why would he have that ability at that time when there was zero reason that he should have had that ability? So like it's really not like there's no real reason why that should be the case. So like and also the fact that Giorno's speed is just garbage. Like he scales to other characters that like are bullet time, like bullet speed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I'll let you handle this. I'll let you handle this one, Grim, because you know about Hunter.
I also know about Hunter.
I need to go get a drink real quick, so I'll leave this to you, Grim. Make sure that nobody says anything they're not supposed to.
If I remember correctly, Grim. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't it stated that there were people on the Dark Continent that were stronger than Meruem?
Okay, so here's the thing. So with Hunter x Hunter, if you want to have the interpretation that Meruem's the strongest, I think it's necessarily fine. Here's the thing, right? So Meruem, right, was the strongest in the verse when he was alive, at least in terms of like characters we are aware of. Yes, there is a statement that Gon's fangs might have reached Meruem with his power level when he his ultimate self-sacrificing Nen to like go rage amp, like turn into adult Gon or whatever.
Yes and no.
The thing is we don't really have any evidence that like he would have beaten Meruem. There's nothing super contrary to it, but she just said that his fangs might have been able to reach the king, not that he or that he could have won.
And he was just on the same. He was.
Well,
like in the
she
same
not
league.
even that he was on the same level, but she perceived him as a potential threat to the king because she wouldn't have been a good judge of like
Estimation
just because
of
he was
what
stronger
Meruem
than
is.
her doesn't mean that he's strong as Meruem. So
Yeah.
it's a weird thing. It kind of depends on her knowledge and stuff, but it's sort of a perception, like it's sort of a knowledge claim on her part that's not like. And again, she just says he could have or might have, like not necessarily that he would have. So that and it just his fangs reached the king. You can interpret that a couple of ways, right? You can just say that he might have been able to fight him. He might have been able to damage him. He might have been able to beat him. Whatever interpretation you take, just depends. As far as the Dark Continent, yeah, there are beings on the Dark Continent that could be stronger. The thing is, we don't really know because, like, obviously, like you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Tagashi's continued the manga yet.
Not as of the moment.
Yeah.
We sporadically get chapters, but currently we are not at the Dark Continent yet. We are still, like, I believe heading to the Dark Continent.
Yeah, I was gonna say, aren't they on a boat? Isn't it like
Yeah.
the Berserk thing? They're probably gonna be on the boat
Boat
for
arc.
10 years. Everybody memes at the Great Boat Arc. Now here's the other thing. If you want to say that Nanika, like Alika's like the thing that possesses Alika, you want to say like Nanika, who is technically a being from the Dark Continent, is more powerful than Meruem. That's a possible interpretation to have because she's essentially like she's like a fucking almost an omnipotent wish granting
She can
device.
grant like any wish according. I believe it was Killua. She can grant almost any wish, right?
They said that she can grant any wish, and now she always kills the people or she does something horrible to like repay
if they
whatever wish,
don't,
except with Killua, because Killua is the only person who's ever shown Nanika kindness and treated her like she's loved. And
Yeah,
so
isn't it
Killua
only
doesn't have repercussions to his wishes. He can ask for whatever he wants, and Nanika won't fucking extract a price from him. Yeah, she can she's so powerful that when Gon uses his Pito thing, he ends up in a state where he's basically a vegetable. His body is like just burnt, horribly disfigured beyond recognition. Like he's dying and he's basically kept on life support. And she's so powerful that Killua asks her to make Gon like he was before. And by the way, they had sought out the best healers in the entire world to help Gon, and not a single one of them were able to undo the damage that his Nen did to his body. And Nanika not only was able to undo all the damage, but when he said make him like he was before, she literally reset him to before he even had access to his own abilities. So yeah. She basically she either warped she either warped time in a specific way, or she like reality warped, but it's more likely a reality warp thing because of the way that like she can grant and in numerous other wishes as well. But yeah, so you can take the view that Anika or Alika would be the strongest character that we know of, but we don't actually know what that would look like in a battle setting, or if she could even use her abilities without being asked a wish. So it's fine to take the interpretation that Meruem is the strongest character that we know of, right? So I don't necessarily disagree with that. And then obviously the next character, Gilgamesh from Fate Stay Night. I feel like the topic's a little bit more contentious than people realize. I'm not going to talk about the greater Fate universe because it doesn't say Fate, doesn't say Fate Grand Order, doesn't say like Fate CCC Extra or any of that stuff, right? But it just says Stay Night in particular. But even within Stay Night, despite Gilgamesh losing, I would still say that he's the strongest, because the way that he loses and gets negged in Stay Night is the thing about Gil is Gil is an overpowered character done well. He has like basically all the powers in the verse at his disposal, like as far as like having access to the global phantasms of like every single servant who he comes across and stuff. So on paper he's overpowered, but Gil is like a cocky, arrogant motherfucker, and he is like super cocky and arrogant to the point that he never takes anything seriously until it's too late. He tends to lose in like every thing that he's in, except in Fate Zero. He did win in Fate Zero, but Gil tends to be like on losing side of things. Like in particular in Stay Night, he lost to Archer Emiya, like aka he lost to Shiro Emiya, aka like fucking alternate Archer Emiya. Like long story there, but the point is, he lost because he like underestimated his opponent, was toying with him, was being cocky and arrogant, and by the time he got bothered and irritated enough to use his actual power, not only was he like enraged and kind of like tilted, like to the point that like he was like just shooketh, but when he decided to bust out his real true power, which definitely would have ended things, he didn't really get the chance, and his arm got cut off before he could use Aya or Enuma Elish. It would have undoubtedly ended the battle, but he got his arm cut off before he could use it because like he toyed around and was so cocky and arrogant for so long that he let Shiro essentially get to full power and like do the most. So, which is not what he should have done, but he wanted to toy around and he got himself negged. So Gilgamesh's biggest enemy is himself, and I would argue that he's definitely the most powerful character in Stay Night because of his abilities being as busted as they are. But you can also interpret in Stay Night because of that. You can say that like Shiro Emiya would be the strongest character. But yeah, strongest servant definitely Gil, like. But yeah, I think in the overall Fate universe, he might not necessarily be the strongest, but he's definitely a top tier. And there are interpretations, but I don't see an issue with that being on there. So like, what is that? Like maybe half of this is valid.
That's 1, 2. So that's 1, 2, 3. 4,
half of it is like valid
4?
and slightly contentious.
No, 3 of it is valid. No, 1, 2,
4,
3, 4.
Like
half
it's
of it.
all right.
So half of it is valid.
It's aight. It's
with 2 of
aight.
them being questionable. Of the
Alright,
valid ones.
So the next video would be this. Oh gosh.
Oh no.
This is
that was-
weird.
If any anime character in Ninja Base, if they were in Naruto Shippuden, Doflamingo would not be Hokage.
Okay.
Why
Well,
would that
hold on. We don't start anywhere
Oh, I'm
but the
sorry.
top left, right?
Yeah.
Kind of
Start right
established
to
this
left.
rule.
I'm sorry.
Start
No.
at the top.
We're starting-
Considering, like, we do, like, I'm pretty sure everybody in this call knows the qualifications to become a Genin, right? It's like somebody graduates the Ninja Academy, like, based on smarts and ninjutsu and all that, right? Okay, assuming that you we'll use like equalization in some way to say that, like, okay, well, let's just assume that all of their powers translate to chakra and like ninjutsu and stuff in the verse, right? Because like I don't think any of them are passing the academy without being able to use genjutsu or whatever, right? Or I mean jutsu in general, genjutsu, ninjutsu, taijutsu, whatever. Well, taijutsu is a factor too. That's right. And
yeah, Rock Lee
so-
did, so he passed.
so
it on.
let's just talk about a couple things, right? Ichigo, who isn't stupid by any means, any stretch of the imagination. He's actually decently smart for a shonen like pro tag. He's probably I'd say he's the smartest in the big three out of all
In
the
terms of book smarts, I can definitely see that.
Well, what kind of smarts are we talking about?
And well, any smarts. I think
There's
he's
just
got more.
general
I
intelligence.
think he has more battle smarts and more battle IQ and just general IQ than both Luffy and Naruto do.
You think he has more battle
Um,
IQ than Naruto?
Yes, I do.
I'd say that's contentious. In terms
I
of
I
that,
don't think
but
so, because I just think Ichigo like has always had higher stakes than the other two. Like his experiences have been like way worse, in my opinion.
I mean,
Like,
Naruto has some pretty damn big brain moments, though.
Battle IQ is not necessarily just pulling something out of your ass mid battle. Like, there's a lot that goes into battle IQ. But like, I do think like, yeah, maybe you can like try to argue Naruto's specific moments or whatever. But regardless, my point still stands that he's incredibly intelligent, and like not only that, but his powers. Like, let's just go over things he can do that the average Genin can't do. He can fly. Okay. He can shoot energy beams out of his sword. Like, he's incredibly fast. He's probably faster than every Genin in Naruto. Not Boruto, but like Naruto, right?
Faster than Naruto, though, because Naruto's getting... No, I'm not going to do that.
But like, you know, it's like, I don't see why Ichigo would be Genin level. He would slap a good chunk of the verse. Like,
Yeah,
not
obviously
the high tiers.
It's not just contingent on like the power, right? The power difference. But like you were involving like IQ and just intelligence in general, like, which I agree. I think I think you're downplaying Ichigo's like intelligence heavily. Like Genin level, bro. Like, nah, bro. He's not a retard, bro. Like,
yeah,
he definitely is. Like, I'd say probably like, if we were to put in like ranks, maybe in my opinion, maybe like Sani no Hokage level. Like, I don't think that's like, you know.
Yeah, I don't think that's that contentious to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Sani and Hokage level.
So yeah, I'd say that's bad. I'd say that's just like a bias thing that they have against Bleach.
Yeah.
Doflamingo.
I don't think so.
I don't know that I necessarily disagree based on Doflamingo is pretty powerful. I
mean,
definitely think that he would give a fuck ton of Naruto characters trouble. Not just power wise. Doflamingo is incredibly smart. Like, he is very, very intelligent. Like, to the yeah, Doflamingo is considered like a kind of a genius. Like, he's like a mean psychopath or whatever, but like he's pretty fucking smart, dude. The smile factories and stuff and all the like territories controls and stuff, like he knows how to undermine people. He knows how to be sneaky, devious, and cunning. He's one of the best bads in One Piece history to this point, and I don't think that like it's a stretch to say he could be Hokage level. Obviously, like, he's not like the best in his verse or anything. So like, if you're going of like the Hokage is like the best in the verse, then yeah, I'd probably put him lower. But I'm looking at it as just like a Kage is one of the higher, like, you know, like I'm kind of just looking at it like, is it possible that he would meet the criteria to be a Hokage, you know?
Yeah.
Well, with and how I judge the criteria of being a Kage isn't necessarily being like the strongest in the verse, obviously, because you can make very good cases that like some of the like Hokage were not the strongest in the verse, obviously, and some of them weren't even the strongest of their time. My criteria for Hokage is you have to be at least a Kage level strength, obviously. That's like a given. But I think it's also a respect thing. And I think Doflamingo definitely has the respect of a lot of people in his verse, especially for what you said, like the smile factories, how he can undermine people. And so he definitely would have the respect.
Yeah, if we factor in respect too and like admiration of peers, like that's another thing for Ichigo as well.
For Ichigo, for sure, yeah.
Which, again, Genin level, it's like, but, you know, we've already touched on that.
Yeah. So then we have like Meliodas.
Ooh, that's
Hokage.
I've read Seven Deadly Sins. I roughly know how strong. It depends on what we're going for. If we're talking purely strength, Meliodas, I could definitely see him being Hokage level. He's definitely not. No, I don't think he's the strongest in the verse because he couldn't beat the Demon King on his own. He had to have the help of all the Seven Deadly Sins. But if we're talking respect, definitely he has the respect of almost everyone in the verse. Hell, he even was able to he was even able to get the respect of Chaos a literal chaos, which is cool, I guess. Power, he would definitely be very difficult for any ninja in Naruto to handle, specifically for his full counter. If we're equalizing magic from Seven Deadly Sins to Chakra and Naruto, full counter will reflect any jutsu back at the enemy. I'm not talking about genjutsu. I'm talking about ninjutsu. So any ninjutsu you fire at him, full counter, is going to be reflected with 2 times the force. So let's say Hashirama were to fire a wood dragon at Meliodas. Full counter, that bitch is going sent flying back at Hashirama 2 times the powerful. Let's say Kurama decides to fire Tail Beast Bomb at him. Full counter. That Tail Beast Bomb is going to be fired right back at him, twice as powerful. So that's going to be incredibly difficult for anyone to deal with. As well, his swordsmanship is definitely top tier in the verse. He has incredible hand-to-hand combat from 3,000 years of actual fighting. Because he's been immortal for 2,000 years. He fought in the original Holy War between the Goddess Clan and the Demon Clan.
Yeah, I'm kind of mixed on, because on the one hand, I do agree that Meliodas has Hokage potential, like, if you look at, like, a lot of different factors. On the other hand, like, if you're looking to compare him power-wise, like...
He's also intelligent as fuck.
I don't think Meliodas is, like, as powerful as people wank him to be, but...
Well, no, but if we're equalizing stuff for, like, the Naruto verse, then he would probably be very powerful for the Naruto verse.
Probably, definitely pretty powerful for Naruto. I don't think he'd be among the top tiers or anything, but...
Well, no, but he'd be in the Kage realm. He'd be in, like, Kage tier, probably. Probably, yeah, maybe possibly. Mid Kage. If we're dividing Kage into low, mid, and high.
The next one, I think it's Kosu's turn to talk.
I don't know who this is. Is this Fire Force?
Yeah. I like that they chose Arthur. That's funny.
Getting Arthur.
Okay, so this one's kind of weird, right? Because in terms of power, like, this motherfucker is going to be the strongest Hokage in history and will always be the strongest Hokage in history, right? So, like,
no doubt.
Like there's just gonna be no one as strong as him. Like the power difference is gonna be so massive that, like, he would just qualify just off
he's already the strongest Genin in history. He's the strongest character in the Naruto verse one that's there.
Now the issue is, though, right? So, like, if we're factoring in these different variables, depending on how we, like, attribute the values, right? Like,
he is kind of
like,
special.
Dude, in terms of power, we already agree, right? Like, he's just insane. But then it's like the opposite to be said about his intelligence, because this man is quite literally, like,
I don't think he's unintelligent.
No. By all means, he definitely has some intelligence. I mean, like, it's just weirdly arbitrary when it comes to his intellect, because he in one end, he just has a very imaginative type of thing going on.
He's very smart, but he kind of chooses to be a dumbass. Like,
well, that's the thing, right? Like, it's kind of both naturally. Like, it's not even that he chooses. Like, there was at one point, right? Like, he's fighting this really strong, like, Inferno or some shit, right? And then he's, like, getting his ass whooped, and he has no idea why. And then the issue was that he had his sword in the wrong hand. And then once he switched it, right, he one-shotted it, right? So, like, he's just, like, it's just...
Let me put it this way. On the one hand, he's the guy, if you set a trigonometry test in front of him, he'd probably get an A+. But then, as he got up to leave class, he'd run headlong into a brick wall that was nowhere near the door, and he'd be questioning what happened. Like, he'd be like, why is there a wall here?
Yeah, his intelligence is just, it's so all over the place. So, like, it wouldn't be wrong to say his intelligence level is probably, like, it could range from, like, Jonin, right? Like, at the top of the pinnacle of it, because this motherfucker even memorized pi, right? And I mean pi. Like, and then he fucking also is just dumb enough to be also, like, academy student level of intelligence. So it's like, I don't if you wanted to say, like, you could literally put him anywhere and, like, sure. But if you were judging this whole list based off of power, this motherfucker should just be fucking God. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's why I clarified with Doflamingo being Hokage. It's not just about power. It's about also like having the respect of your peers, and because if let's say you're a Hokage, let's say you're any rank, and you're that rank, but you don't have the respect of your peers. Let's say you're a Jonin leading a squad, and no one respects you. They're not going to listen to you. You know
For
what I
sure.
mean?
Which Arthur actually is very respected amongst his peers as well. Like it's he has some like they mess around and just like make fun of how like dumb and imaginative like how he is, but like they so heavily depend on him as like a peer and as like a just part of the team, right? Like as a team member as well. It's just like he's so reliable as well. Like they can rely on him and call him in whenever shit goes like hits the fan. If like say Shinra isn't around or something, like it's pretty insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, he could be fucking. If you wanted to put him at Academy student level, I won't be mad. If you want to put him at Hokage level, I wouldn't be mad.
Agreed. Now, Thunder, you and Zeno can take this.
Fucking funny Valentine from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. That's who he is. And
well, he's not particularly powerful compared to like ninjas in Naruto.
Well, look, he's got a fucking Glock. Just kidding. He's got a fucking pistol though. But
I think that would really be much Naruto characters.
I know, but like basically all like combat wise, he's intelligent. He's meh in combat. He's intelligent. Like really fucking intelligent. But like, and we're going off the criteria of like likability, right? Like
nobody likes him.
Well, how can I put it? I mean, he's likable enough to become president of the United fucking States.
Yeah, I was gonna say, look, he is patriotic as shit. As you can see, he does have the stars and stripes like fucking scarred into his back, right? He would simp for the Leaf Village harder than anybody in history, dude. So, just say.
I have a question then. You said his power was meh. Would he be? Because if you're a Kage, you have to at least be in the Kage realm of power. Would he be in that realm?
Okay, hold on. The reason why I say his power is meh is offensively he's kind of fucking shit. Like, but defensively, if you were counting him with D4C Love Train, like D4C Love Train, basically. Like redirects any misfortune that is like in his way. So
it's essentially a turtle with a gun.
So basically, like let's just say some dude shoots at him, it will redirect the bullet back towards them.
Okay, so that's a very So let's say let's say we're to equalize stands and chakra hypothetically, and let's say we have like Sasuke shoot a fireball at him. If we equalize it, the fireball will be redirected back at Sasuke, like his own fireball.
Yeah.
Is it the same with like punches, kicks, even like illusions?
Yeah, I mean, like it even went to the extent that like when he was walking, like he walked like through a lake bed, and basically like obviously there's a lake there, but like because he wanted to walk there, the lake parted away from him, so that the misfortune of being fucking wet wouldn't be there.
Well. I have another question about it.
Dude couldn't get his Yeezys wet.
Is there a like if you're fast enough, can you just disregard this if you're fast enough to kill him before it happens?
The infinite rotation was able to like not be affected by it.
So there is a speed limit.
Yeah.
Okay, so if they're fast enough, okay, so then he probably wouldn't be Hokage simply in regard to strength, because Naruto characters of that level are like, you know, how fast would you say his stand is? Or how fast would you say how fast would you say that the ability activates roughly?
Well, it depends on where you scale. It depends on where you scale the infinite rotation, right? And like, it's been a while since I've seen.
What's the lowest and highest? We can go on a range, like the lowest you scale and then the highest it could scale.
Highest that people I've seen is people saying infinite, right? Because infinite rotation in Gabuga, like, but I don't think it's infinite. Like, even if it is infinite, like,
I'm talking highest realistically. Not like Wang. I'm talking.
Yeah, again, like it's considering the fact that I don't remember any of the actual like scaling for the infinite rotation in regards to like speed, like it especially considering
maybe
like
I'm dumb.
Maybe I'm dumb.
Stupid, but like I think he could just be like hypersonic.
Yeah, because again, like if you talk about his actual stance speed, like they like the characters in that part like are reacting like they get so
tagged by like bullets. And shit?
Yeah, they get tagged by bullets. So like,
well, if that's the case, then no, he would be fucking bodied by like Jonin.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to take this statement that, like, let's take Haku for instance, their mirrors can move at the speed. They can move between. Their
actually, hold on, wait.
Light, and Naruto was able to catch her. That Naruto was supposed to be like stronger, or at least relative to like Jonin, Part 1 Kakashi. So even Jonin would be able to beat him. So then he probably wouldn't be Hokage tier.
Yeah. I mean, like, look.
Can we just like go on?
Yeah, with Valentine, like it depends on the scaling. Genuinely, like for the infinite rotation. Like if you want to like have the infinite rotation high on the higher end, not Wank, but higher end, he could be Hokage, just only because of Love Train. But otherwise, like
FTL, then I could then he could be Hokage. Definitely.
Yeah.
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 Is there anything else we can talk about Love Train? Not Love Train, Valentine.
Well,
I would just.
Well, I mean, when it goes to like FTL, if I remember correctly, like Tusk Act 4, which was Johnny's stand when he used the infinite rotation. Tusk Act 4 was able to, like, if I remember correctly, throw hands with alternate world Diego's the world, which is the same as the world from Part 3. So that'd be FTL right there.
Wait, is it the same?
So then you could argue that the rotation should be like FTL at least.
Also, like, yes, it is the same.
Okay.
So then
like when I read through it just
then
like
I
all of them are
see him being Hokage. I could see him potentially being Hokage. Depends on how you want to scale like the Naruto versus speed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like like I said, it depends on the scaling. But like having Valentine at Hokage, I personally wouldn't put him there. Like, on top of that, considering the fact that, like, as much as the dude is, like, patriotic as shit, and also is able to be elected to president, he also is a fucking asshole, like, and if any of that would ever be, like, found out, like, dude would get fucked.
So he's a Donzo.
Yeah, like, his like, whole idea is that the ends justify the means, basically. Like
he's a Donzo. He's 100%
like
a Donzo.
he like basically he was wanting to like protect America, and by doing so, like he was willing to kill people in order to like ultimately reach his goal of like protecting America.
Let's not forget that the second Hokage, Tobi Rama, was also that kind of.
What he did to the Uchiha,
yeah. I mean, that's fair.
Police force anybody?
Well, that's fair.
Tobi Rama doesn't build the wall himself.
Like,
he was built different.
Tobi Rama was like ridiculously powerful. He's easily in the top 3 Hokage.
He's alright.
My final say on this would be that Valentine would not. I'll get back to like to this later, to JoJo scaling later because Poochie's on here, and I'll let that be known. We can go on to All Might.
All Might? Ooh, I know some.
All Might's a bit weird, I feel like, because like
I think in terms of strength he can, but in terms of intelligence, I'm not sure.
No. Like if we're talking, like I think in terms of strength, like if we're okay, it depends, right? Like, are we talking about Prime All Might? Are we talking about Damaged All Might? Right? Like, I think in terms of like, I think in terms of like All Might, right? Like if we're taking him like after. Or like prior to him, like losing it for All for One.
The first time around, by the way.
I think strength-wise or power-wise, like it's kind of because I don't think it's too far off. He definitely has the respect and the popularity, reputation to be a Hokage. Yeah. He's got the mentality 100% down. The problem is the difference, right? Like in power and especially in speed. Holy fuck! Like There's just such a massive difference in
All
terms
Might
of
is
Hokage?
slow as fuck compared to Naruto characters.
So
People
it's
try to
but he
wank.
doesn't. It says for tuning, so.
People try to wank All Might like and shit like that. They try to wank the My Hero verse with like Prime All Might, and they're like, well, Prime All Might, it's like, thanks for your headcanon. We don't actually know how much faster and stronger Prime All Might really was.
Well, we have an estimate on how strong Prime All Might was in comparison to the one who fought the Noni.
An estimate is an estimate, not like an actual knowledge, though.
That's true. Well, All Might would know what he was truly capable of back in his prime.
None of which is on Hokage level anyway, I would argue.
No, nowhere
But
near,
they're
dude. I
talking
think
about
the
tuning level,
baseline
not
for
Hokage level.
Hokage,
It
I think
says
the
tuning
baseline
on there,
for
not
Hokage
Hokage
is
though.
like pretty insane. No, I'm not. We're just saying like in terms of like the different qualifiers, what like
Okay.
Hokage would amount to, right? Like he has
strength nowhere
elements
near it.
of. He has elements to become Hokage. The problem is he doesn't have the power or speed to back it up.
I
right?
think
Like,
I would put him like, if we're talking non-Prime All Might, I don't think Chun's like a big leap. You know,
it's not too far, like, because I could maybe say, okay, like, let's say if we took Iruka as like a baseline Chunin or some shit, right? Like,
Jonin.
Fair. I mean, he was able to fight Mizuki pretty evenly, who was a tuning.
Naruka's a Jonin.
well,
thought Iruka was
I'm
a
saying in part one, like, I was just saying, like, what
I'm
a
pretty sure he
baseline-
was a Jonin back then.
No, he wasn't.
No,
he
he
was.
was a tuning back
He taught
in.
at the academy. I thought you had to be a Jonin.
No, you have to be a
No,
tuning
no.
to teach at the academy. You have to be a tuning.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely think he's a. I definitely think, like, I was gonna say, I definitely think All Might can be argued as a Jonin level, like, depending on,
Possibly, yeah.
like,
Yeah.
especially Prime. I think Prime All Might you could argue easier for Jonin level, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I guess
Because
it really
obviously, like,
depends on-
I know one thing that people are even know is like, okay, well, if we're gonna put him at Jonin, like, do we think he could take on Kakashi? And it's just like, well, Kakashi's a fucking different case.
Kakashi's
right?
the top tier of the Jonin, and he was an Anbu. He was an Anbu before a Jonin, so like,
yeah,
let's,
he's
yeah.
literally the pinnacle of Jonin.
He's probably in the low Kage realm when we first see him.
Oh, he
Like,
totally
or
is.
approaching it, bare
But here's the
minimum.
thing: do I think All Might could take on like Asuma or Kurenai or something though? Possibly.
That's the
like
weird
Prime
part.
All
Well,
Might.
Kurenai,
Prime
maybe
All
not.
Might?
It depends on how
Possibly.
you want to view Genjutsu. But Asuma, probably. I could see him fighting Asuma, probably not winning. Maybe Prime All Might winning, but not necessarily like injured All Might.
That's what I'm saying. So if you're taking Prime All Might into account, even though we don't know his exact strength or whatever, like I said, like if you want to make the argument that's possible, like sure, but
yeah. So like, I think Chunin to Jonin somewhere around.
I
that
wouldn't let him
realm
teach
isn't
at the
too far.
academy. Wouldn't let him do that shit.
He's a fucking
He would put
terrible
all of the
teacher.
kids in danger. He would
Dude,
put
he
all
can't
of them.
even-
He would,
Bro,
He can't
would
even
get the
teach
entire
his
class
own
killed.
universe.
He would get the entire class killed, dude. Like
Yeah.
he'd be going to all the fucking ninja parents and being like, "My dude, I'm so sorry. Like I was telling your kids about the bad guys, and I took them on a tour to this rogue ninja hideout, and I didn't get your permission, and they kind of got squashed like a fucking pancake. That Orochimaru dude just came out of nowhere and dropped boulders on all the fucking children. It just happened, dog. Like I'm so sorry.
It'd be like that sometimes, I guess.
So yeah, I wouldn't let him teach at the academy, but yeah.
I wouldn't even. I'm not even sure because he's not even like that smart. So
I don't really have
Dude, that's the
contention.
thing,
like
he's
for,
shit on
even
his
for
own
tuning
verse.
rank, he's not that smart because we've seen tuning because tuning have to be at a certain
No,
level.
tuning can be like super smart, but they don't have like he's fine at tuning. I don't think his intellect is like super low. Like
I mean, Naruto
I mean,
became a
even-
tuning.
Naruto was a
no,
Genin.
not even that. Like fucking Choji, I'm pretty sure became a Chunin.
Exactly.
yeah, dude. Like there are like the tuning exams are literally just all about A, battle prowess, like B,
Like a bunch of kids
teamwork.
beating each other.
It's battle prowess, teamwork, and then common sense. Because like the written exams have nothing to do with like an actual written exam. It's more of a common sense thing. At least in the case of like Naruto's year for the tuning exams, and it seems to be a long-standing tradition with the fact that they got what's his face, the holy scully head to like be like the dude with the written exam. It seems to be a tradition that he like fakes out exam people or whatever. Now they do actually score the exams, funny enough, because like Minato and Itachi have like the highest scores in history. But
These like fourths of death and shit.
It's not a no. They have the highest written scores.
Oh,
Here.
okay.
Like so it's not like they don't score the test, but like it doesn't really matter. Like that's not really part of the qualification for Chunin
Probably
because
help though.
obviously Naruto didn't write anything on his test. He just kind of scribbled shit. So doesn't really matter. But yeah, I think All Might would do fine at the test too and stuff because a lot of it is like practical stuff and mathematics and shit. And like, I don't think All Might's fucking like brain dead or anything. Like, I think he'd be fine in Chunin, possibly Jonin.
He'd be a bad parent though.
He'd be a horrible teacher. He'd be an awful parent. Like, we can agree with that.
Yeah, and I definitely won't. And the only reason I wouldn't put Primal Might as a Jonin is because he'd lead a Genin squad, and I feel so bad for those Genin.
So the next thing, we have Yami from Black Clover at Jonin level.
I could see him at being a Jonin.
He's
got actually, now I think about it.
I don't know if he's fast enough. I don't really know what Black Clover's scaling is speed-wise. At least for Yami. Well, at this point, I'm sure they're fast enough. Like, that's just an assumption, though. But I think Yami could be a Jonin. I don't really see an issue with that. I don't think like
power to be a Jonin.
I don't see why not. Like his darkness abilities and stuff are pretty based. Like his like
based on what?
Dude like slices dimensions and stuff, dog. Like I'm pretty sure like he's
that'd be a pretty powerful kick at Genkai, not gonna
yeah.
lie.
Yeah, dude's got some moves.
Slice of dimensions, he'd be fucking hurting. He'd be hurting Obito maybe. He might.
He's
even be
got some
Obito.
moves. If the Black Cloververse realistically is actually FTL at this point, then yeah, he's fine.
Oh yeah, if he's FTL, then he's like approaching Kage.
I'm not gonna listen to a single person who comments on this and says that they're like fucking irrelevant, immeasurable, and they're like outer characters and stuff because you can go yourself. But
do people scale Black Clover?
yes, they do. Unfortunately, just like people scale One Piece to outer, but yeah.
Oh, I hate that scale. I've had to debunk it a couple times. It's fucking stupid.
Yami, based on my knowledge, yeah, I don't see a problem with Jonin necessarily. So,
and here we go.
Poochie.
Oh, yep, there you
Poochie. Hokage.
Okay,
Thunder?
yeah, you know, I'd have to agree with Hokage with Poochie.
I was gonna say
when it comes to like,
ironically, or are you being joking?
I'm being like completely serious. Like when it comes to this, like Poochie, let's talk about his stand, like his stand's ability. His stand can accelerate.
I was gonna say his stand's ability negs the verse.
Yeah, his stand ability immediately like negs because he can like accelerate. He can infinitely accelerate, like not infinite speeds, but obviously he will constantly accelerate. Which right there, he would eventually he would outspeed somebody. And then also on top of that,
now he could be potentially killed before that happens. We're just saying like the effects of his stand are kind of gonna neg the verse if he's allowed to like fucking do it.
Yeah.
Granted, we've seen in Naruto people don't allow you to get off ninjutsu if they can help it. So
yeah, that's fine. We're just saying like power-wise, his power can neg the universe. So
yeah. And then on top of that as well, like. Obviously because of like the what the formula for like force is mass times acceleration. If you can like infinitely accelerate, then obviously like his power would also increase as that goes on. So intelligence, he was able to actually decipher like Dio's like notes and actually like go through with the heaven plan, which like I said before, like I don't remember the exact details of it, but it's fucking like really cryptic and stupid.
Yeah.
And like likability, he's likable and he has a skeleton. He has his skeletons in his closet, but he keeps those like well hidden. You need to remember he is like Father Poochie. He is a priest.
Okay, so then yeah, I could. Okay, then he could be Hokage.
Yeah, I think it comes down to like the interpretation of whether or not like he would ever be able to use his ability. And the thing is, if he ever gets to use it, the entire Naruto universe is fucked.
Well, I mean, even
with the exception of people like Hagoromo and the Otsutsuki's and stuff.
Also, at the exact same time, you need to think of they probably wouldn't have foreknowledge of the ability.
Yeah,
but regardless,
that's what I'm saying. He would probably
They
just
prob-
start running, and they would just be like, oh, "Okay, that's funny." And then, like, next thing
Well-
you know, the whole universe is dead. So
Yeah, he'd be able to like when he does his acceleration, it actually accelerates the the aging of the universe. So like the world around them will start to like basically age, and time will pass around them.
Which I don't think they would immediately pick up on, and by the time they did, I feel like it would kind of.
Toby Rama, they would 100% because Hiruzen, just from seeing the true seeking orbs use won't was able to immediately decipher their shit.
I disagree that they'd be able to figure it out. Yep, I disagree because like it's one thing to be like, oh hey, you know, it would be bad if that black ball that's deleting things hits me. It's another thing to be like, oh fuck. You know, this guy just said his ability name, and I have deduced that, like, the world, the entire universe is changing. Like, I don't even think they have knowledge of that being the case.
It's kind of a leap to be able to say, like, well, he heard him say his ability name, Made in Heaven, therefore he knows that what he's doing is accelerating, like, the life of the universe and accelerating himself as well.
I mean,
yeah, I'm not saying they couldn't eventually figure it out, but by the time they did, they wouldn't be able to fucking do anything about it.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair.
And it's not like, and with Pucci being as smart as he is, like, if you're going to give Hiruzen and Toby Rama some kind of knowledge like that, then we're gonna give Pucci the knowledge of the characters in the verse as well from being there and mingling amongst them. In which case, Pucci wouldn't be doing it out in the open. He'd probably go into some fucking cave somewhere, you know.
And let's just ignore let's ignore Made in Heaven as well, because he has two other stands that he uses. I'm gonna ignore Sea Moon as well, but Sea Moon's ability is basically gravity manipulation. And like
the shit Kaguya could do in one of her dimensions.
But the real important one here is Whitesnake. Whitesnake can make stand discs and memory discs from people when it touches them. So basically, he can just extract somebody's memory and learn their knowledge.
Oh shit! So then, let's say he goes to a Hokage and learns all about how to do jutsu and all about how to wield chakra.
Which he probably would, because in this fun little what if scenario I've created, Pucci just gets teleported into the middle of because it says Hokage specifically, so the Leaf Village, right? Everybody's like, who's this dude who's dressed in these strange clothes, right? And he's just like, I am Father Pucci, I'm a priest and all that. And he's like talking to people. He has no reason to attack them, no reason to think they're a threat. They have no reason to think he's a threat. He probably gets investigated. These people ask him questions and stuff, and he's just like, dude, I just found myself in this strange place. They'd probably send somebody to watch him, but to see if he'd be a threat or does anything suspicious. But other than that, they'd probably be like, yeah, you can kind of hang out in our village or whatever. Then over time, he would just gain people's trust and stuff, and he'd be able to start using that ability to get the memories and knowledge of others, and they wouldn't really know what the fuck was going on. And then Pucci would start talking to everybody with the knowledge he's gaining, and he'd be able to use that to obviously socially engineer himself into a position that he's trusted and shit.
I think something to note as well. Whenever I say that he deciphered Dio's journal, he never physically had Dio's journal because Jotaro burned it. But Jotaro did the stupid move of before he burned it, looking through it. So what he did was he basically took Jotaro's memory disk of that moment and used that information so that he would now know what to do with Dio's heaven plan.
Yeah.
Great work, Joe.
So his knowledge would be insane. As a matter of fact, if he used it to touch any super crazy intelligent ninja in the village, he'd probably be able to start doing some Orochimaru level shit in the verse and just creating jutsus and stupid shit. So I don't really disagree with this placement there.
Not to mention again, if he really wanted to, and somebody was he felt like somebody was fucking lying to him about something, he could just use that to take the memories and see what the fuck they see what happened. If he's asking them about something and they're lying to him, he would be able to know by looking at the memories.
Disgusting Hokage, then Jesus, no
yeah.
one's allowed him.
So overall, I think this video is a better one than the other one. I do have issues. This person clearly has a This person clearly has a 7 deadly sin and fucking like JoJo bias for fucking sure. But like I don't think this video is a bad video. I think I want to touch on something next. Like I want to find like one of their videos that they're like
Oh,
scaling.
is that a One Piece of where those characters would rank?
Yeah, they have a lot of those, but I kind of want to find
The versus
one of
ones.
their like scaling. Yeah, one of their scaling ones because these are interesting topics, and I want to do more of them at some point. But I don't want to spend the entire evening like just being like, oh hey.
Yeah, let's find a versus.
These look like they okay. Those are all just JoJo.
Yeah, those are the
specific
JoJo
stuff.
like ones. There's like
What is
This
this
that
one?
with Guts Eisen and Meliodas.
Is this one like a? This one's not a versus one.
I
Yeah,
see,
that's not
I
versus.
see Jin Woo.
That's
I think
that's not
Uh,
versus. That's like like good characters or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, they have weird ones in there. Those are like captains and stuff.
And they're going back down to like yeah. There's go further
JoJo
down.
stuff.
I think the verses are further down.
Yeah,
See one
Oh.
versus Team Granola versus Team JoJo.
this one's fucking ridiculous. Like I
Yeah.
don't think that I don't think we really need to spend time talking about this.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think
just-
anybody on the planet is going to unironically argue that Team JoJo's body's Team Dragon Ball
Yeah.
Super.
Yeah, they just don't
Like-
have the speed.
You
Or
have
the-
like Ego, Vegeta, Granola, Whis,
Ultimate
MUI,
Goku,
Goku, and Beerus. Like, what the fuck? Even with their
What are they gonna
abilities, like,
do?
what are they doing? They're not doing anything.
I
Like,
think the funniest thing.
slap.
I think the funniest one there too is Notorious B.I.G. because like in the verse, he's one of the stronger stands because nobody was able to like
Oh, look at that
damage
one.
him, right?
That's,
There's a
Jesus.
couple
big-
right here.
The big issue with that though is that like obviously if you're putting him up against like Beerus can just Hakai him. Like,
Okay, I'm sorry. I need y'all to pause for a second. I see some people beating Jinwoo, and I'm kind of curious about that.
I mean, it's just
I'm a
like
console
it's
person.
just them asking if Bleach, not Dragon Ball Z, and like whatever. Like, it's just asking if like any of the mainline shonens beat Jinwoo. Which...
Well, no.
yeah.
Not a one-on-one fight.
So let's look at this one. Okay, like
yeah, let's go with this one.
maybe. I don't.
Let's
yeah.
go with this one. Screw it.
All right.
I don't know who the fuck Arba is.
She's from what is it? Magic, Magi. I can't remember the
Magi.
exact name. Yeah, Magi.
Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic or something.
Yeah, versus Unohana.
I have no idea where Magi scales. I'm just going to assume Unohana slaps, but
Yeah, that's fucking.
I don't scale anybody on this, so
I don't-
this is all y'all.
Raven versus
uh,
Sparkles.
No, this is Comic Raven, so yeah, no, Comic Raven fucking slaps.
Yeah.
yeah. Ryuko and Akame. Ryuko definitely
Yeah,
outscales.
Ryuko's
Yeah.
got fucking moon
I
level
don't
feats.
scale either, so.
And then
Ryuko's-
Alucard cock slapping.
Alucard
Dio.
fucking destroys Dio.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So that video is not super interesting to talk about. This one, I don't know how. I don't know if
Oh
Kosu
yeah.
doesn't
Oh.
Pretty sure.
So-
I know
Jesus?
Yeah,
That's
that's
Jesus
Jesus
from
from JoJo.
Ragnarok.
No, that's Jesus from JoJo.
Oh, well,
I don't see a universe in which he beats Beerus.
Yeah, no, he
But,
doesn't.
What versus Kaneki? Who's
Kaneki. From
Gus
Tokyo,
is slapping
fucking Tokyo
Kaneki,
Ghoul.
probably.
Guts would, yeah.
Yeah, Kaneki from Tokyo Ghoul.
Oh.
Asta Union form versus Ulquiorra. I'm giving it to
Ulquiorra could
Ulquiorra off
fucking
the top of my
destroy,
head. Like, I'm giving it to Ulquiorra off the top
Yeah,
of my head. I
Ukiora
don't
has
know.
like continent level.
I don't know for sure because like
I
Asta
think-
could scale.
I don't.
but-
Yeah, I don't know how. Like, I just keep hearing people like Asta fans saying that he's like MFTL. So like, I don't know.
I doubt
Like-
that, but you know, could be the case.
Discord versus Mr. Mixie.
Yeah, no,
I'm pretty-
Mr. Mixie
I
just
would
slaps.
say Mr. Mixie probably. I don't
I
know
know,
about this.
I know. I'm embarrassed to say I know My Little Pony scaling, but like, yeah, no, Discord does not scale anywhere near Mr. Mixie.
Yeah, I was gonna say Mixie
Nowhere
is
near.
like godly. So like, I don't know about all that shit.
Like Discord is
one.
Discord is like at most like
oh
at most you could have.
yeah,
a
we
rank
have one
UE.
that has Shinra on it, and and Gojo. So let's talk about this in order.
Oh, and Jin.
Alright.
Look at that.
Oh, it has
So-
Itachi versus Dofi. I want to talk about that.
So Mugen versus Jin, but I think this is Samurai Champloo Jin, right?
Samurai Shampoo, yeah.
Yeah, so they're both Samurai Champloo characters. So
I'd give it to Mugen personally.
it's hard to say, to be honest, but if I remember correctly, I think that Mugen would win. Hold on.
Asta versus Shinra. Kosu. I think I think Asta's winning that fight.
Yeah, okay.
Shinra cock slaps, bro.
Shinra cock slaps the verse, bro.
Like,
Shinra
Dude
cock
just
slaps
go
a
in
lot
there
of verses.
swinging his shit around, bro.
Shinra cock slaps all of them here.
Now,
Yeah, he is just the strongest one on the list.
Now, here's one. Dofi versus Itachi. I think
I said it.
Dofi...
I said
What's
my
up?
opinion. I said my opinion when me and Grim looked at this earlier. My opinion is that Itachi would win. Like
I don't know
I
how
don't know
fast
about that one.
Doflamingo is.
Maybe. I definitely think... well, it depends on which Itachi we're using. Are we using a hypothetical prime, or are we using, like, what we see in the show, like Sick Itachi? Because if it's Sick Itachi, I could definitely see Dofi winning that, as long as he doesn't get caught in Itachi's Genjutsu. If he gets caught in Itachi's Genjutsu, it's over.
Yeah,
But
like
if
that's the reason why I think. That's the reason why I
definitely see Dofi
think.
winning that.
That's the reason why I think that like he would lose, because the Genjutsu.
Well, yeah, plus
Yeah.
the fact he has Izanami and Izanagi at his like disposal, right?
Yeah.
So like worst case, he
Izanami
sacrifices.
won't make much of a difference because it's really difficult to off guard Dofi, especially with his powerful observation hockey. If he's gonna fight, he's gonna have that activated.
But could he like resist like an off guard Genjutsu, right? Like
Actually, you could make the argument that that observation hockey might give you a resistance to illusions, because you could decipher what is you don't need to see with your senses. You can like close your eyes and see, and it's like see their aura, see their intentions. So you could actually make, if we're equalizing hockey, chakra, and that kind of stuff, or just equalizing their power systems, you could make a case that his observation hockey would just prevent him from really being caught too much in Genjutsu. So that would
I
be
disagree. I don't.
what
think
about
that-
what about like Itachi, right? Let's say Doflamingo like attacks first or whatever, right?
right.
Itachi uses like what Izanagi, right? To like kind of make it to where that didn't actually happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
If he
like,
uses Izanagi or Izanami, Doflamingo is not doing shit about it.
yeah,
Well,
like
no,
I
he's
mean,
not
for
gonna be able
one,
to
for one, I
stop
think
Izanagi. I never said that.
yeah,
Or
like
Izanami.
let's say he uses that, right? And then just like for one, if he uses Izanami, right, like that whole infinite loop thing, right? I think that probably would
Well,
be
with
a
the whole
factor,
infinite
but
loop thing, isn't that like where you have to like come to terms with your true self to get out of it?
I forget
Because if
the
that's the case,
exact
Dofi
description of it.
is already okay with the man he is. He's already his true self. So.
Okay, well, I'll just go to the previous point I was making, right? So, like, Izanagi, right? Let's say he, like, makes it to where that just didn't happen, right? He attacks, it just doesn't happen. And Itachi sacrifices one of his eyes for that to be the case, right? Like, what's stopping Doflamingo from getting Amaterasu, like, right after?
You could make the case, like, because if Dofi's on the same, like, speed or, like, fast enough to dodge it, his observation hockey would allow him to sense the intention of the negative
I
intention.
don't-
So you could argue he could dodge it.
I don't agree. I don't think that observation hockey gives you the ability to like know everything about what your opponent's doing. Like just
I
because
never
he
said
senses.
it. I never said that.
Yeah, but that's kind of the implication because I don't just because he
That's not
senses
what I'm
in
implying
an.
at all, Grim.
Hold on, I'm just saying. Like I want to clarify, right?
Oh, okay.
Just like I think like just because he senses Itachi is going to attack him, like I don't think there'd be any way for him to know, like it like in a way that would help him. Like let's say that like he senses Itachi is going to attack. Why exactly would he just automatically assume to dodge or something in a particular way? Like I don't think that it would help him all that much. Like, you know,
Not
if he sees
necessarily.
Itachi moving or something, maybe. But like when it comes to like the ocular jutsu stuff, like involving the Sharingan, like he might sense intent, but I don't know how much that's gonna help him. Like I don't like
He
for
doesn't know
example.
what's coming, right?
Yeah,
Like,
for example, like
Getting
what's
one
something.
thing about observation hockey. the biggest thing, and we've seen people do this before, is like, let's take who is it, Marigold versus Luffy when Luffy was on Amazon Lily. She had her eyes closed and Luffy was going to kick her, and she's like, that left kick's not really going to work on me. She was able to immediately sense, okay, you're going to do a left kick with like your left leg, and it's going to try to attack me here, and that will allow you to dodge it. So you could maybe make a case that he might know it's some.
But that's also a physical thing, Like I don't think we have like any inclination that observation hockey is going to like precisely predict what the opponent does and like all that stuff. Because like here's the thing, like you can argue that lets you see into the future a second or a couple seconds or whatever. But even if that's the case, right? Propose something like Tsukiyomi. What exactly? Let's say Flamingo can use observation hockey to the utmost like extreme interpretation that it like allows you to see into the future. Exactly what would he see about Tsukiyomi? Like, I don't think he would see anything. Tsukiyomi is not like it's a genjutsu. It's not like something that like travels. It's not like something that like at least not in the conventional way. It's not something where it's like if he looks into the future, he's gonna see a sword flying at him or something like that. Like it's just going to put him into this like fucking alternate world. So like, even assuming he can see the alternate world or whatever the Itachi places him inside. So he uses observation. He looks into the future. Let's assume he can see this. He sees this like world where like, let's say he did what he did to Kakashi. He's like crucified to a cross and getting stabbed a bunch of times. Like, what's he gonna do with that information? Like, what is he gonna deduce from that's gonna be like?
He wouldn't know where its origin is, right? Like, he wouldn't know how that came to be, right? Whether it's like a physical movement or like something. He's just like, okay, I see this
how
happening.
Katakuri's future sight works. If we're using that as like as how future sight works, it would be just the next 5 seconds, like right after he looked into the future. It'd show him the next 5 seconds. So hypothetically, let's say he did see like into the Tsukiyomi world, which I don't think he would. I think Genjutsu is how Itachi wins this, but hypothetically, let's say he can see Genjutsu. He would probably see them look at each other, and then he's in the Genjutsu world. Since Dofi is incredibly smart, he might be able to make the correlation that looking at Itachi might not be the smartest idea, but even then, that's probably.
Just not to cut you, I'll just like based on like what you guys have been explaining about observation hockey, it's limited to physicality, right? Like I don't think he'd be able to even peer like into what like he would see in.
We're talking about future sight. No, it's not limited to physicality. It's limited to the literal de facto future. How future sight works is like, let's take how Katakuri has been able to use it. He's been able to hear conversations with it. He's been able to see like future events.
No, that's what I'm saying. But like again, like Genjutsu would just be like mental like projections, right? Like whereas like how would you say that would be like part of reality, right? Like you could see the sequence of events that take place like in the real world, but how would you be able to see like any future sight, like something that goes on through mental projections?
I'm thinking because that's the thing. What he would probably see, if we're talking realistically, is he'd see him and Itachi look at each other, and then him falling to onto his knees.
Like he would. That's what I'm saying. Like he'd see the future events that are taking place in reality, and be like, he just fell to his knees or some shit, or he's just like standing there, and Itachi's looking at him, and like that's about it. And then in reality, when it actually does happen, right? Like then he is affected by this Genjutsu, because I don't think his future sight would be able to pick up like something like a Genjutsu, right?
Yeah, we've never seen it. Granted, there isn't really anyone in Naruto who has illusions like that, like how Naruto has illusions.
Oh, you mean One Piece? Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have anything like Genjutsu in One Piece. As far as I'm aware, there might be like a devil fruit that's able to do like mental illusions, like how they do in Naruto. But from what I can see, from what I know of Naruto, there isn't really anything on the same level as like the Genjutsu that Naruto.
Yeah, they don't
like. Yeah, so to assert that like it could, right? Like it could pick up like a mental projection of some sort, right? Or something that would be subject through mentality. It would be kind of hard to, like, you'd have to find
you'd have to find an example,
which
I don't think exists. Like,
So Genjutsu
You know-
is Itachi's win, but I was saying like hypothetically if for some reason Itachi just doesn't use Genjutsu. I was talking in like
He always uses Genjutsu in character.
yeah, I know.
I mean,
It's like
like
his
again, I think
go-to.
maybe like I don't know how One Piece characters scale in terms of speed. Like I'm pretty sure their speed just outscales. So like maybe you can make a case you just
There's an FTL arguments. There's decent
FTL and Naruto arguments too, though. Like I don't think you can be like people try to like twist things in Naruto, but you literally had light speed statements back in the fucking Zabuza era of Naruto, dude.
One. So FTL for both is so I'd say probably Itachi's probably faster. In terms of strength, I definitely think I'll give it to Itachi because he fights tailed beasts, and I don't really think the only things I think scale the tailed beasts are like the higher end admirals and the Yonko. Even then, that's a bit iffy. It depends.
AP wise, I don't think One Piece touches Naruto, but like people do use ratty arguments for speed and stuff, especially when it comes to like they argue the weird fucking stupid non-canon movie multiplier shit with Luffy.
Yeah, well, Grim, would you say Whitebeard and Roger's clash would be equivalent to a tailed beast bomb?
No.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. No, I don't. I think that's a little weird to like scale. But I think like the thing about One Piece is that even if that was the case, like Doflamingo is not scaling anywhere near that, and like 90% of One Piece doesn't scale anywhere near that. Like Luffy doesn't scale anywhere near that. Like
I disagree. Current Luffy,
no,
I
don't.
Is starting to get into that top 10. Scaling to that level, starting to approach that realm.
I don't think I agree. I also don't agree with the notion that One Piece is planetary based off of the Whitebeard to destroy the. No. I'm not saying that. Okay. I'm saying that's a common thing that you hear with One Piece scaling that I disagree with. Like they base it upon the presumption, either the statement about Whitebeard is the man who can destroy the world, right? Like,
I've always been
sorry, but like
maybe country level.
You can like there are many different interpretations you can take with that, and there's no evidence to say that like it's planetary in any way. And the other argument is the stupid, weird infinite library thing, but like that's easily debunkable because I'm pretty sure that's like the Jinbei statement or whatever. It's like, well, that would presuppose that he would have knowledge of it, like he would have been able to like measure the infinity or whatever, which like no. So like there's weird shit like that, but I think you have to take an expectation to be horribly disingenuous to argue that shit. And then the last one, Ulquiorra versus Gojo. Gojo slaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think there's an argument there.
Not even.
Ulquiorra is not getting past infinity, dude. And he's not doing anything there.
Is that Zeno versus Grand?
We have a show. We have. Wait. This is juicy.
Prime Soul King versus.
Which side is winning? We don't start there. We don't start there. Aruma versus Sulfin.
I've never seen either of those. Sulfin, I think, is from Ven.
I know Thorfinn is from Vinland Saga, but like, who the fuck is Aruma?
I can look him up. Give me a second.
I don't know who the fuck that is. It's just like
Aruma, I think his name is.
What's the name of his series?
How the fuck do you pronounce that? Jujika no Rokunin.
Okay. No idea what that is.
Nope. Never heard of it.
So can't make a call on that. Now here's an interesting one. Gojo versus Sho.
No.
Gojo versus Sho.
No. From what I know, I'd say Sho.
That's what I think.
So here's my stance on it, right? So for me, right, like if you were to go with the inaccessible Gojo stuff, like maybe you could make a case for him beating Sho. I personally don't really have the stance for inaccessible. Like, I have my own reasoning as to why I don't think why Gojo's inaccessible.
What's that
Yeah,
knowledge thing?
I have my own reason too, which I
Yeah.
don't know if it's confirmed yet because I'm not up to date on JJK, like with how the prison realm and stuff operates. But
yeah, but
I don't know if he's still
obviously-
in there.
But I think personally, like Show, right, should just obviously has the AP output, like, to be able to damage Gojo if you know, and I think
always about
Well, he
speed.
also got on the Infinity regardless of how fast Gojo may or may not be. Infinity's not stopping Show, I don't think, is it?
So then I would have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, doesn't Gojo have an ability where he can load into your brain like an infinite amount of knowledge? So would Show be able to counter that, or?
Well, here's the thing, right? I think Gojo is still like bound by time, right? Like, I think there's like, again, my interpretation of like the inaccessible thing, I just don't really like. I can see how it can be the case. Personally, I just don't hold it.
Well, doesn't Show scale to Shinran's anyway?
Yes. And yeah, actually, even towards the end of the manga, he does.
So that would mean that
Show
even if
should just be
Gojo
able-
was inaccessible, Show would just be faster anyway.
Yeah, and even if the case, like, if you wanted to use that specific Show in the anime, right, like, he still stops time, right? And I think, like, even if you're perpetually keeping Infinity up, right, I still think that's, like, it's still temporally dependent, right? Like, in any sense, right? Like, it's still spatial movement over, like, a sequence of progression, right?
Mm-hmm.
So him stopping time should also just allow for, like, Infinity to, like, stop.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Show wins.
Yeah.
But
And
the
even
next
then, obviously, end of manga, he's just like, he scales the Shinra. So yeah.
Novel cars versus the Soul King.
Well, look, I'm just saying, 37 cars on Mars.
Not Peter.
Yeah, so the 36 cars on Mars thing, like, what does novel cars actually accomplish?
He has the world ultimate, like,
which does what?
Fucking, I don't know, because I don't like the George Joestar novels, they're ass. He has, like,
Because I've heard some pretty insane things about novel cars.
Yeah, I mean, like, basically he's got complete and utter, like, wank abilities. Like, take the abilities of fucking, like, all of the the main villain stands, and, like, make them even more fucking dumb and unga boonga and wank.
Zeno, do you know when novel cars does?
Zeno isn't even here anymore, he left.
Oh, okay.
From what
Nobody
I
here
understand
knows
of
what
Bleach, didn't the Soul King, like, create the cosmology or some shit, or at least create, like,
Yeah, but I don't think that's, like, I don't know. Let me read through this shit. Soul King's
boundless.
Oh god.
Oh, God. Like, I know that Made in Heaven, Made in Heaven Ultimate Requiem or whatever the fuck, like, again has, like, Made in Heaven's ability, but, like, it can specifically target, like, one person to accelerate, like, on a universal level.
It depends, like, novel cars. So I'm trying to find replies about the novel cars stuff to see if, like, but I'm not really seeing anything right here.
Yeah, I don't really know much about, like, the George Joestar novels, mainly because fuck them, they're garbage.
Okay, novel cars.
Everyone here combined? Oh lord, that's a hot take.
Everybody's just, like, replying saying, like, W or something. The sulking dog. Yeah, it is. Nobody's given reasoning or, like, scans or specifics. So, like,
Well, I mean, like, look, if you want to
that.
talk, if we want to talk scaling wise, like, not just like hacks wise, scaling wise, like, he's Uni Plus. From what I know,
Soul King should be in that, like, area too.
Okay.
If not,
not
you can argue it higher, but I think Uni Plus is a good place for the Soul King.
yeah, he'd have Uni Plus. He'd have, like, the infinite acceleration of Made in Heaven.
When people say that the Soul King created the whole before the Soul King, life and death did not exist or whatever. I think that just refers to the cosmology and stuff, and the fact that there wasn't like a cosmos the way that we know it.
He created
before
like
the Soul King created it.
society,
I don't think necessarily, because it says something about how he took the singularity that existed and split it into life and death, but so I don't think like people who like to argue shit like, oh, he literally created the platonic forms of life and death or whatever. Like, I don't think that's necessarily true. So I don't think the Soul King like is like outer or any crazy shit that people like to argue.
Yeah, and like I don't like I have no reason to like with novel Karu's like he has like some really busted abilities, but again, it's abilities that like obviously he has the ones that like the stands normally have, but then he has ones on top of that, and I don't remember those ones off of my fucking like off my head because
I just don't want to call that fight one way or the other.
Well,
last
actually,
one is Zeldris versus Zareth.
No. Look.
Is he from Fairy Tail?
Hold on.
Yeah.
I will call it because Karu's there's 36 of him on Mars, therefore he wins.
I don't think Zeldris beats Zareth.
For Zareth?
Like, it's kind of contentious. There are a couple of things. He's immortal. Like that's a thing.
Well, I mean, here's the thing about, and it depends on how you want to see his commandment. Because if you like turn your back on him, basically he immediately takes control of your mind. I don't know how, like, obviously I don't know how powerful this is.
Zareth has resistance to like mind hacks and stuff like that for sure.
The reason why I'm hesitant on it is because it was created by the Demon King, who has an ability, probably one of the most broken abilities in the verse, which is the ruler, which basically just reverses anything. Comes.
That's cool and all. Zareth literally created like a new form of magic in the fairy tale verse. He literally created hexes or curses, and he literally created entire beings because Zareth is the ultimate emo. Okay, let me tell you his lore. He got tired of being an immortal and he wanted to die so badly that he created incredibly powerful demons, including one who literally has something called Memento Mori, which is like just existence erasure. And they weren't able to do anything to Zareth, right? Yeah, he also created fucking Natsu himself, the main character, to be the ultimate demon to kill him, right?
Yeah, Zeldris isn't winning.
And, you know, these are the same people who were, like, taking on Acnologia and stuff, like, and obviously I think, like, with the fairy tale stuff that came after the regular mainline fairy tale, like after Zareth and all that stuff, like depending on like interpretation, you can argue all kinds of stuff for Zareth scaling. He does make a statement about being beyond time or whatever. I don't really think that matters because I don't think you need that to like put him over Zeldris. I just don't think Zeldris is like even has the AP to do anything to Zareth.
He doesn't even scale to the high tiers. He's a mid, like the commander mid tiers at best. Maybe in the lower end of the high tiers, but they don't. I don't think
Zeldris
like the late game 7 Deadly Sins. Even the creatures of purgatory, which like solo most of the 7 Deadly Sins verse actually.
Yeah, you can argue a whole lot of stuff for Zareth, but I think the things I've talked about are enough, in my opinion, to be like, yeah, I think he wins. But yeah, you know, Isana. Do what?
I saw Gara. That's what is that? Demon Gara, like Monster Gara versus Boros. That's a contentious topic. I've heard a lot of people.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to find some stuff that contains characters that. Oh wait. What is this?
What is that?
Is this like all of fire, dude? What?
Sin versus Fire 7 Deadly Sins getting rocked. I'm sorry, I can't. I don't even want to try that.
Oh, fuck! What?
It depends on how you want to.
Look at these statements.
any one of those characters on the Fire Force side would solo the verse, I guarantee.
It depends on how you want to view chaos, I guess. But
what the fuck is
Wait,
this?
what is chaos? What does chaos scale to?
It's
Like uni,
it's contentious. It's contentious.
possibly uni.
Like the only one
Uni,
that
I
maybe
would
would
say
get
is a
rocked is
good- is a
Amaterasu
good
for-
baseline. I've heard some people say outer, but I don't agree with it personally.
No.
I would definitely say probably uni at the bare minimum.
What the fuck? These people are on some fucking heavy drugs, dog.
Like, so the only one that's like contentious is Amaterasu. Amaterasu doesn't actually have very many feats besides like mind controlling. So like Arthur, Sho, Shinra, Benimaru, yeah, like
If
there's
you want to go by like versus Battle Wiki, they say chaos is large star. I don't necessarily agree.
Bon alone wipes the bird.
Bottle. Okay, okay. If you want to wank Snatch and say that he could, because here's how Snatch works. I'll explain it real quick. He can steal your power.
This guy's comment is a W.
He can
hell yeah.
he can steal power over time, and it can make him stronger than someone. But the bad part is it's over time. So
Yeah, it also wouldn't work on somebody who like of that power level. It's never been shown to work on characters of that crazy amount of strength.
The Demon King is the ruler ability I was just talking about. Fucking solo. No, it doesn't. The ruler ability, what it does is it basically, like, let's say you try to damage the Demon King, it will instead heal him. That's how Bond was able. That's how they were able to defeat him. They had people heal him, which made him take damage, so he had to deactivate the ruler. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they can't damage him. Because I don't know if they can bypass that ability. We've never seen anyone bypass it, but that doesn't mean it can't be bypassed.
This is a weird take. Sho Uni, Shinra Uni, Benny Low Complex Multi, Arthur Solar, Amaterasu.
I think that guy is actually in the server, but he posted that well before he was in the server, so now he agrees with Outer.
Okay. Yeah, there's no universe in which like the Seven Deadly Sins touches outer beings, dog. Not happening. And for anybody who may watch this or may be listening now who thinks that like either that Seven Deadly Sins is outer or doesn't think Fire Force is, like, you can slide into the Discord and get clapped.
We got Discord links in the description. We got both links to Adola and links to the Holy Kingdom of Pins.
Grim, can I make a request?
What?
Can you scroll down to that middle one with Sun Jin Woo? I want to see that one real quick.
Yeah, in a second. I'm curious. I kind of want to go through like this one too.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to, yeah.
Ooh. That's unfortunate.
That's
what the fuck is this matchup?
What am I
that's
looking at?
weird.
That's the matchup right there.
That's weird.
Sogetsu, not Sogetsu. What's his name?
That's so weird.
What the fuck?
I think like the bottom team kind of has to win.
I mean, I think they do.
Poochie and King Piccolo, like, let's just like be real for a second.
And Crollo.
Let's be real for a second. Nobody up at the top should be able to deal with King Piccolo. I mean, I'm just being honest. Like, it's not.
Bro, you're gonna.
Hold on, wait, Grim. You don't think Aizen's strong enough to deal with King Piccolo?
No.
Doesn't
Aizen has no good scaling. Kyokusui Getsu people just use it as a no limits fallacy.
Aizen scale above like all the Espada.
I'm kind of curious about what Kosu is going to say. And
like Yoda and like who have like what is it? Country level attack potent. Well, granted, King Piccolo destroyed the moon. So.
Yes, King Piccolo should probably be relative to like the other. Yeah, King Piccolo should have just better AP than everybody above.
Yeah, and also, like, I want to know what, like, sorry to cut you off, but I want to know what Kosu was going to say.
He was, like, about pissing off. Kosu, what were you saying?
Huh?
Kosu, what were you saying? You started saying something about how I'm going to piss people off or something. What were you saying?
Oh, yeah, you're just going to piss off the Bleach community with that. Like, that's
Well, I mean, look. Like, me and Grim both like Bleach, but it doesn't change the fact that like we're gonna be
love
honest.
Bleach.
We love Bleach.
I agree.
Listen,
that's the thing. I agree with you guys. I just think it's funny as hell.
Yeah.
I want to clarify something, Bleach fandom. Don't be tards, okay? Bleach is my favorite out of the big three. The big three is Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece. Bleach is my favorite out of the big three, dog, and I'm sorry, but like Piccolo is dog walking Aizen, dude. Like Aizen does not scale, right? And Kyoka Suigetsu, which you all love to use for scaling in debates, you just treat it as a no limits fallacy. Like it has to work on everybody. It's no limit. Like it's like, nah, dog. That's not how like you scale things. The statement of it being complete hypnosis. That's just an association fallacy, dude. Like you can't actually you can't actually verify that. Like here's what you have, right? It scales to the strongest thing it worked on, which would be non-almighty Yuha. So before you go arguing and being like, oh well, Yuha can affect a million different timelines and it was pre-almighty, pre-Soul King Yuha. Okay. And this is the same Yuha, right? People try to argue, oh, he was going to destroy the whole verse. No. When Ichigo cut the Soul King, the verse started collapsing. That wasn't Yuha destroying the whole verse. The verse was just collapsing because Ichigo killed the Soul King who was holding the realms together. That doesn't scale Aizen or Yuha anywhere. And Yuha's best scaling before that was beating I don't even know what Yuha's best scaling was pre-Soul King. Maybe stealing Yamamoto's Bankai and one-shotting him, but even then, none of those characters scale anywhere near Dragon Ball. I'm sorry, Bleach FTL scaling is shaky at best, and no matter how many times you want to stack multipliers or argue that oh, but Aizen was only at a fraction of his power, dog. He was sealed in the fucking chair. Okay, that's true, but we don't know what full power Ultimate Aizen would look like because we've never seen him. There's no way to quantify that. It is headcanon. Aizen gets clapped.
Grim, Aizen's gonna go Oonga Boonga, and then the other team's gonna just be done. Don't
Fucking
you know that?
Aizen gets clapped by Madara. Fight me. So yeah, King Piccolo and Poochie together are just ridiculous.
Yeah, King Piccolo and Poochie, just one of those, removing one of those, and that team still would probably win. Just having one or the other.
Nobody on top is moon level, right?
Yeah.
And definitely nobody on top is fucking Uni, which Poochie is 36 times Uni to be specific. So yeah, just not happening. You're not doing anything. Sorry. I mean, no matter what you do,
instead of Obito, then you could make the argument. But...
Obito might do some stuff, but first of all, Izana and Senju don't deserve to be here. You are literally putting basically normal ass humans on a battlefield with all these crazy motherfuckers. You are just
might as well be gods to them.
You just enjoy torturing Tokyo Revengers characters for some ungodly reason. They don't need to be here. Okay? Hisoka and Chrollo. Not sure what the fuck you think is gonna happen with that. But they're not even keeping up with Doflamingo, my dude.
Hisoka fight in the manga? Didn't Hisoka win that fight?
I don't think Zeldris even can do anything about Aizen or Obito, right, or anything like that.
He could probably beat Dofi.
Zeldris, I don't know.
I could see Zeldris beating Dofi. He's definitely skills above him in speed, definitely. Power, I don't know.
But yeah, Poochie and King Piccolo are just bodying, dude. It's not even. I guarantee I'm gonna read these comments and people are gonna be yeah, Aizen and being immortal.
I forgot Aizen was immortal. Oh yeah, Aizen has the fucking. Well, okay. If you want to take the Hogyoku into account, you could probably say he'd eventually adapt to King Piccolo, and be able to do it that way. But even then, that's a kind of an iffy argument.
Not quick enough. like Piccolo's gonna vaporize him with moon level AP first. Like, and that was a basic key blast, by the way. That was a basic key blast that destroyed the moon, by the way. Not even like a full powered attack.
Look, let's be real here, right? All that really needs to happen is that King Piccolo and like the others just like King Piccolo could obviously just beat them as is, but King Piccolo could just stall like for like fighting all of them by himself while like fucking Poochie just accelerates and then fucking like at that point like they're fucked. Like once Poochie gets fucking zooming.
This one's weird.
Sukuna versus Mob.
I don't think Sukuna would have problems with Mob. Like,
no, I don't think so either.
People are weird with Mob scaling. They try to argue shit like he created his own fucking manga and anime and shit. It's retarded. But it's bad. Like, I don't know anything about Mob scaling really, but like I don't see a universe in which he's doing shit about like Sukuna. I don't know what Mob's best scaling is. I could be wrong. Like, I'm not afraid to admit that.
Yeah, I have no idea about Mob.
I don't see how Merlin's dealing with Rukia, to be honest. I don't know what Merlin's best scaling is.
Okay, so there's potential. If Merlin's magic isn't fully like fleshed out on what she can do, she does have her Infinity, which allows like once she casts a spell, that spell will continue on for like
but what's her AP and stuff? It doesn't really matter if her AP is not high enough.
She was able to fight the Demon King with the other 7 deadly sin. Like she was able to do damage to the Demon King. I believe I've seen like universal scales for the Demon King, but I'm not 100% sure.
Doubtful.
Yeah, that's what I said. It really depends. I would say, God, probably on the low end, maybe like. If you want to lowball it, probably country, maybe like planetary. No, not even planetary. No, I would definitely not say planetary. It's definitely not enough to beat Rukia, I don't think.
I don't know.
She might be able to seal Rukia. She might be able to
I'm not. I don't want to talk.
Full power.
I don't want to talk about Rukia's Bankai really because
I have not read the manga like all the way yet, and I don't want to fucking like get anything spoiled. So. Like,
so it is Bankai Rukia, but I'm just not gonna get into that battle. Moto versus Natsu's because
I think.
Here's the thing, right? So like, I not read Fairy Tail after the end of like original Fairy Tail, like after Zaref and all of that. If Natsu has better higher scaling since then, like I think he wins. If you're going off of just original Fairy Tail and your argument is that Natsu eats fire, then that's not a win con. The Yamamoto's Zanpakuto and like his Shikai and Bankai, people assume it's fire. It's not really fire, it's heat, right? Like his Bankai reached 15 million degrees and was literally like not just like burning things. It was like pure plasma, and it was the sun essentially embodied as a person, and it was not only that, but it has its other ability that I'm not gonna but just the heat alone, it was literally melting Reiatsu. It was melting the entirety of the Soul Society and everybody in it. I do not see what Natsu, like, at least not modern Natsu, but like OG Fairy Tail Natsu, I don't see what the fuck he's doing about that, dog. He ain't eating it. I'd tell you that. So then Anos versus Gil. I don't know anything.
Anos is from what is that Demon Academy anime? I don't watch it, but I'm pretty sure.
So like apparently from like light novel scaling, he scales to outer. But
so does Gilgamesh.
Yeah, so like I think Gilgamesh might have better hacks.
Yeah,
like,
Gilgamesh. From what I know, Gil just wins because of like the shield fucking like hacks.
However, if you were gonna say like in character, like if you wanted to involve his flaw of being cocky, like that might be like some in like a
they're both cocky.
For Anos.
Oh yeah, they're both retardedly cocky.
Yeah, but Anos is not like
No,
he
he
definitely
takes
does
serious
just like
meaning, too.
kill shit like regardless, like, but if because I know that you guys mentioned how Gilgamesh's cockiness like
Yeah.
can be his downfall. That
Mhm.
may or may not be an issue, but yeah.
So if we're talking like classless, like Grand Order Gil, also would have outer scaling, if not like pretty good above baseline. Like, but we'll just for now we'll just talk about them both being outer, like just in terms of abilities and stuff. So what Gilgamesh has besides Enuma, which I won't get into a whole lot, but they get to Babylon's the important one, right? It's his treasure vault. In his treasure vault, he has access to all treasures ever. And this doesn't just mean weapons or whatever. It literally means anything like in existence that he considers like valuable or interesting can be considered a treasure. His vault contains all treasures. In the Fate universe, the heroic servants like Gilgamesh have something called noble phantasms, which are their like ultimate weapons that they have. His Gate of Babylon literally has the original ultimate form of every single one of those weapons for every servant. So like his Gates of Babylon contains an Excalibur, which is Saber's weapon. It contains like a Gaibolg, which is like by the Gaibolg alone is stupid because what it does is it like negs causality in a way that like so you like okay, so like Kukulon throws the spear at you, right? It negs the entire like cause of like him throwing the spear at you and like the spear flying and hitting you, and it skips to the effect like where the spear has already hit you and penetrated your fucking heart and killed you, right? And so like no matter how many times you dodge, the spear will just like still just be like, oh, you're over here? Well, guess what? I was over here too. And like can kind of keep that up ad nauseum, but the spear is just always going to be coming for your heart. Like, and there's just like nothing. It just like negs. Like it's weird, right?
Interesting.
Yeah, it's broken shit like that, and like a guild just has like millions of things that all have broken abilities. That it's like, oh, what's that? Your sword literally splits the reality. Well, Guild had one of those too. You know, it's like, and Guild can just throw them with impunity at people, unlimited times.
Yeah, I don't know personally if Anos has like resistances to any of that. Like Nefo is like the Anos guy. I'd probably like talk to him on that. But I think
yeah, Gil's
with
pretty
Gil
broken.
like Ning.
Gil's pretty busted. Yeah. So
Yeah, how long? Wait, hold on.
There's
How long
this
have we been
one.
going on
Looking
for?
left. This is bad.
We're going on for 3 hours.
Why
Holy
would
shit!
Gilgamesh on this list or Saber? God damn it! I was about to go in on my boy Sun Jin Woo, and then I see those two. Can we just ignore those two for a second?
I mean, Jotaro and Giorno are the weakest characters here, dog.
Yeah. Gojo's the only one who I'm iffy on if Sun Jin Woo can beat, simply because of Infinity. Because I don't think the infinite knowledge thing would really affect Jinwoo as like the monarchs, their memories, and like are like transcend time. So that might mean that their memories contain more than infinite knowledge. I'm not 100% sure on that one. As for AP, he definitely has the AP to kill Gojo. He definitely he scales to the other monarchs. Actually, he scales above all the monarchs, including like and he probably scales above the rulers who were, since the monarchs fight the rulers, and the rulers were able to kill the absolute being, created the entire cosmology of the solo leveling universe, which includes like higher dimensions.
Yeah, but what is the cosmology scale to?
Fuck. Because I know the monarchs come from higher dimensions. I need to check real quick. Give me a sec.
Also, like, this is probably gonna be the last one because like we've been going on for 3 hours and I'm starting to get tired.
That's
Fair
fair.
enough.
That's fair.
Bro, this is hate PR? I'm gonna see that. But yeah, I could Sun Jin Woo's going to like low multiversal, potentially Uni Plus if you want to lowball him. He definitely has the AP to beat Gojo. I'm just not 100% sure in terms of speed if he'd be able to overcome Infinity. I think he can, but I'm not 100% sure, and I need to like check that. Hold on.
They are outer. I don't know what. Hire the complex multi-outer. What the fuck?
Wait, hire the complex multi-outer? What the fuck does that even mean?
Saber destroyed 60 construct, making your outer. That's not how
want
scaling works, dog. What the fuck is this?
If you want to argue it, you could make a case that potentially inaccessible. If you want to wank the inaccessible, the absolute being to, because the actual quote is he existed when only light and darkness exist. From the light he created the fragments of light, the rulers, and from the darkness he created not the 8-9 sovereigns. And so
it doesn't
some people
really
have
tell me about the versus cosmology though. Like saying, "Oh, well, they created a bunch of shit." That's cool, but like,
I don't know the versus.
Where does that scale? Yeah, that's like if he's not outer, he definitely doesn't stand a chance against skill and Saber, and even if
I've seen some people argue outer Sun Jin Woo, because I've heard some people argue it. I know that Striker definitely argued outer Sun Jin Woo.
It's probably ratty though.
The argument is that the absolute being, since only light and darkness exists, apparently like he's supposed to have created like the concepts, which I don't agree with. Like in the soul leveling universe, like because
even if he created concepts don't inherently make you outer.
Yeah,
like they have to be platonic forms.
Yeah, because each of the monarchs embodies and rules over like a concept. Like Sun Jin Woo like has full authority and rules over the concept of death as the Shadow Monarch. The Dragon of Destruction rules over the concept of like destruction and has like his like existence erasure breath.
Well, that's great, but like that doesn't that doesn't inherently do anything.
So against everyone, with the exception of maybe Gojo, he definitely doesn't beat Gilgamesh or Saber. That's just unfair. Why would they put them? Why would you put them both on the same team? Is what I'm wondering.
Oh, probably because this guy thinks Sun Jin Woo is boundless.
He thinks Sun Jin Woo is OD. He's not that OD.
He thinks he's boundless,
OD, but he's not that OD.
Man can't die. Like, here's another thing I want to talk about. Misconceptions with versus battles is like, such and such character is immortal. They can't die. It's like, well, there are different types of immortality. And here's the thing. If somebody, okay, let's say for argument's sake that Yuha isn't, let's say he is immortal. He can't truly die. He will come back. Dog, like in 10 years, dude, like, or whatever, right? I'm sorry, but in a versus battle, the character's not going to wait around for the other character to come back. Once that character wins, the battle is over, and the character who got negged lost. Even if they regenerate later, they still lost that fight. Yeah, like there's no they lost. Okay, like if you have to regenerate and it takes you 24 hours, if it takes you an hour, if it takes you fucking 80 years, I don't care what the time frame is, you lost. Unless it's like fucking instant, you lose. Yeah, because that's incapacitation. Okay, which is one of the win cons. Okay, like again, like that's a weird thing, right? And yeah, I don't know why fucking Jotaro and Giorno are there. They're fucking garbage compared to like everybody there. Yeah, Saber and Gil alone, I think, slap everything here. I don't think anybody can do anything to them. They're both like outer. They're probably like, I'm sure I can get them to high 1A if I go and fucking look at all of the grand order shit, but I don't really feel like investing that kind of time. From what I know, they're at least outer. And I don't know anything in Sun Jin Woo to put him there. Maybe like I'm sure people argued or whatever, but I want to see their scales. Like simply, like I'm sure people are arguing it, like going like, oh, well, they rule over concepts. It's like, and not all concepts are equal. You'd have to prove that those concepts themselves are outer. And by the way, saying that those concepts exist in a dimension above like whatever else is in solo leveling is also not what makes something outer. Existing in a higher realm does not make you outer. A concept existing in a higher realm does not make it outer. Like, if y'all believe that kind of stuff, then you don't know how outer works, let alone platonic forms, Aristotelian concepts, or anything like that. And also, you don't know what abstract is. There are people who make those weird arguments that, like, an abstract level of existence is outer. Again, like, no, it's not. Like, I don't think you even know how that works. But, so, you know, if y'all are in that group, whoever reads this, watches this, whatever reads this, yeah. They're gonna
Whoever reads
read
our
my
video.
they're gonna read the words coming out of my fucking mouth as sound, dog. Like,
They're gonna read the YouTube auto fucking captions.
Yeah, I mean, whoever like comes across this, if anybody does, like, it's not like if you have these misconceptions and you think these things, join the Discord links, man, and we'll talk to you, and we'll
yeah, I know somebody
somebody
said in the live chat debate me, but like I didn't notice it until.
We'll enlighten you as to the who said it. Like, who are they?
Their name is Chancing.
Join the Discord link, dog. Like, I'm not debating you in a YouTube comment section or something, but
a YouTube live chat. Like...
Yeah. Like, if you want to talk about things. Also, what are you even trying to debate, dude? Like, are you trying to debate like specifically the Sun Jinwoo outer stuff, or like, I'm sure it was an earlier comment. Like, maybe they're mad about the JoJo's being like fodder. I don't know what they want. Maybe
brushing up on Sun Jinwoo and
maybe they want to debate whether like what kind of bagels are the best kind of bagel. Like, I don't know.
Maybe,
dude, that would be the best debate.
Maybe they want to debate like New York style pizza versus like St. Louis style pizza. I don't know, dude. Like,
I want pizza now.
Versus like California style pizza, which is literally just throw weird shit that don't belong on pizza. That's California style pizza.
Point is, if you disagree with us on anything that we said, right?
Hop
then
in the fucking Discord.
hop in the Discord. Like, we'll be willing to discuss. We'll be willing to discuss or debate.
We'll dogpile you and call you mean names.
No.
Anyway,
we'll
like we've been going on for like over 3 hours, so I'm just gonna end the stream.
I will debate your parents on why Ronald Reagan is the best president. Okay, don't test me.
I'll debate you on why like your opinion sucks, duty.
I'll debate you on the fact that you actually can't verify that you actually know anything.